Let's check out Let's Tape It. What's up, Wings of Redemption? I'm invested, I'll leave it a like. Ah, shit. Yeah, baby, he's got more than one balloon, come on. Yes. How the fuck is he doing it? A technique. God, he's gonna cover the whole surface area. It's never been done. God, there's still 3 minutes of it. Oh. By the time it's done, it's gonna be like a fucking bowling ball. Alright, I gotta take a piss. Or come. There's no telling right now. I'll be right back. He's getting faster at it. He's getting some good technique in there. He's got like the karate master stance and whatever, but what do you mean? He's doing it with his eyes closed. He's like an anime character sensing the chakra. He's fucking mummifying that hairdryer. God, this fucking slut. Oh, this dirty whore. Just letting him taper like this. Ooh. Woo. That's a like. Oh, he's no amateur. He's been taping professionally for 8 years? 9 years? Almost a full decade? Let's see the humble beginnings. I said I was going to do more tape, but we gotta see. The humble beginnings of a master. This looks like a pretty easy tape job for him nowadays, but you can see he's very labored movements on the tape. He's not confident in his stretches. Yeah, this is definitely his infancy. This was before he really got the power and the technique down. Yeah, this is very weak. Comparing this to his modern day skills, this is just sad. But it's almost inspiring that a man like this was able to go from such poor taping technique to the guru we've seen. And it only took 9 years of training. Oh, and he doesn't even fully cake it? One layer. If only this old version of him could see him now. One layer. My parents' house. But if anyone can tape a house, it's this guy. A humble abode. Soon to... Whoa. Man, what a piece of shit this would be to take off. Look at that tool! Oh, he's thought of everything! He's like the Elon Musk of tape! I tell ya, I just can't believe it. I'm seeing it, but I don't believe my eyes. He's done what science said was impossible. He's taped his entire parents' house. It's like some high schoolers got mad at him and TP'd it, but all I had was tape. My man, he's probably filling his pants right now too, like, son, this is the best birthday gift I could have ever asked for. Good work. My boy, I've taught you well. You go inside and his house is taped already because he's a tape addict as well. He tapes the inside of the house. That seems to be like his only big project though. Everything else is like taping ladders and George Foreman grills. Not to say that it's not impressive, of course, because it certainly is. Not everyone can tape those kind of utensils, but when you tape a full house, I mean, there's nowhere to go but down. Appreciate it, Passion. I already listened to Viper the Rapper. Viper the Rapper has over 5,000 albums, not songs, full albums. That man is a monster. Viper has recycled songs, though. You fucking swine. Viper doesn't recycle his songs, he remixes them subtly. A simple fucking Philistine like you could never pick up on the intricate variations that he puts on his work, his craft. For example, Y'all Cowards Don't Even Smoke Crack has, I think, 50 different versions. And to the untrained ear of some lowly plebeian like you, it might all sound the same as a re-upload, but it's not. There's very, very obvious differences. Oh, hey, it's Kirill, the Russian synthol saint. And then almost Barack Obama with synthol. This has got to be an old documentary because that arm right there, that one exploded recently. Kirill. Yeah, November 19th. The arm, the synthol built up too much, it exploded, and he had to get emergency surgery. Oh, baby! Why don't you guys ever draw me like this? Did none of you know how to use Windows, Outlook? I don't know. How the fuck do you make something that looks this shitty? No doubt he made that himself. See, like, if you're gonna synthol, at least do it like how these guys do it, like fucking Bubble Buddy. Just, you know, have like fucking water balloon sacks of muscles. I think that looks far cooler. Today I went on a bit of a journey. I had a 2-hour road trip ahead of me, which for pretty much every sensible human being doesn't sound like a lot. But for a little troglodyte goblin like me who very rarely leaves his hidey hole here, and I never really venture past the immediate Tampa area, this was like the Oregon Trail for me. 2 hours may as well have been like a full-blown expedition here, like complete with rations and everything. And at the beginning of that 2-hour trip, I saw this video floating around on Twitter about a streamer having an argument with his girlfriend over something really confusingly silly. Even when we got to our destination and finished our task, completed the quest, and drove back, I still had it like in the back of my noodle here, just kind of jumbling around in my noggin because it's so baffling that this argument ever even happened in the first place. Like, if this was written into a movie's plot, I'd say that's AI-generated gobbledygook because no one would ever argue about something so stupid.
Hey guys, it's Riley. Oh my god.
Riley never told me about this, bro. She never told me about this. This is news to me right now.
It's Riley.
I'm doing a little talk show.
Damn, she hiding stuff from me? Bro, she never told me about this. I'm surprised. I'm like, what the fuck? I never heard about it. I thought she would tell me something like this.
But why, though? It's a totally innocent YouTube video she made 10 years ago with her friends in high school. It's not like he just stumbled across something important. It's not like he learned some life-ruining information about his significant other here where he found out that her secret identity is Jack the Ripper and she's some kind of serial killer. It's not like he even stumbled across something like she is a former adult film star that she hid from him. Like, he found her hidden OnlyFans where she was casting forbidden jutsu with her butthole for $5 on OnlyFans or whatever. It was nothing like that. It's literally just like a single YouTube video she made with her friends in high school that was seen by like 300 people. I think it had like 300 views, but I imagine a lot of that came from his community going over to it. Realistically, it was probably seen by only like 2 or 3 people in the immediate friend circle of that group, and then left to die, just buried in the YouTube dusty library of videos that never ever see the light of day again. But somehow, someone in chat, like an archaeologist, cleaned off this fossil and submitted it to him as like a, brother, look at this. Did you know she made a YouTube video 10 years ago? And he seems so disturbed by it. And the chat starts enabling this insecurity saying, damn, she's hiding things from you. Like, what do you mean? This is like the most innocent YouTube video ever. We're in a day and age where pretty much everyone you interact with on a daily basis has a digital footprint. Everyone is filming themselves in every aspect of their life all the time and uploading it. It'd be more uncommon to find someone that's just off the grid and has no Instagram videos or YouTube videos, TikTok videos, something like that in their past.
She was on a YouTube video? She never told me this? I'm finna crash out. This is wild. Yeah, bro, she never told me this. Yeah, how are you not gonna tell me you did? Oh, so convenient. You're on speaker. You're on speaker now, by the way. But that's weird. That's weird that you never told me this.
I literally forgot about that. I don't know how they found that. I totally forgot about that.
It's more weird that you would want to know that. It's totally understandable that you would forget filming a single YouTube video, or even a couple of YouTube videos, 10 fucking years ago if it never took off. Like, what do you mean? This isn't some kind of like, oh my god, I'm dating a lying harpy. I'm dating a charlatan. Like, this is, like, the YouTube video is legitimately a nothing burger, and he's blowing this way out of proportion. He calls her up like it's some kind of emergency, like, I saw what you were trying to hide from me. You filmed a YouTube video 10 years ago with your friends, didn't you? You had your own little podcast at one point, huh? Oh, I can't. I've never been so hurt in my life. How could you have lied to me and kept this information a secret? Like, this is something you would forget about, like 100%. I don't understand, like, how this could even be an issue. That just feels like complete insecurity, or maybe like this desire for him to know, like, every single aspect of everything she's ever done. I don't really know. That's why I'm saying I can't really wrap my head around how this could even become an issue. This would be one of those things, like, if a chatter linked it, it'd be more concerning how they found it, A, and B, it'd be like, oh, that's interesting. Haha, I mean, what a goofy little find. Like, it's not a big deal, no matter how you spin it. and yet somehow he found a way to make it a big deal.
Interesting. I'm surprised you didn't tell me this. What do you mean thanks? I'm surprised you never told me this. This is crazy. I gotta find this out from the chat.
This is really embarrassing. Thanks.
It's embarrassing for her, not me.
Why would that be embarrassing for you? What kind of delusional fantasy land are you getting bullied in? What do you mean? Like, who's gonna start shooting spitballs at you and throwing tomatoes? Boo! This guy stinks! 10 years ago, his girlfriend filmed a YouTube video once. Like, I don't understand. Oh, God, look, jeepers creepers, guys. I can't eat. I can't sleep. My girlfriend made a YouTube video 10 years ago. Yeah, so anyway, I broke up with her.
I didn't explain myself, which is really fucking annoying.
Why wouldn't you tell me about that?
First of all, I totally forgot about that. You could
That's
look
convenient.
It was so long ago. We never made it a serious thing. We filmed like 2 things.
We started 10 Talks together, and we like talked about being
I
on a
forgot
podcast,
about
and you were
it.
like, I've never
And that wasn't a
never done
podcast.
anything like this before.
That wasn't
so
a
it's like people are saying like,
podcast.
oh Yuri, why are you making a big deal? What's a big deal is it feels like I've been lied to. That's what it feels like.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
How is that in any way construed as her lying to you? About what? Do you also need her high school report card so you can check each individual grade in every subject? Like, if it turns out she flunked out of chemistry in her sophomore year of high school, are you going to say that she's a liar for not telling you that she's bad at chemistry or something? Like, what? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. It's entirely reasonable that she would have forgot about this, given it was 10 years ago, basically. And according to her, they only filmed like 2 videos, and it wasn't even like a podcast or anything. They just like talked at a camera, it seems, about nothing, really. Like, I tried so hard to figure out what there is to even be hurt by in this situation here, or what like you could feel betrayed by, and I just don't get it. He tries to say like they filmed something together and she said it was her first time doing a podcast, which seems to be a truthful statement regardless of this unearthed YouTube video, because this was just her friends sitting down talking about nothing. And it's very understandable that that's something that would have 100% slipped their mind, since they never made a series out of it. They never did anything with it past like 1 or 2 videos 10 years ago, a decade ago.
I wasn't lying to you. I genuinely forgot about it because it was never a serious thing.
I don't even know who those people are. You
That's
never
my
even told
friend
me.
Karina.
Cool.
And that's my friend Dalton, my gay friend Dalton. You could clearly see he's gay.
Yeah, obviously, but I'm glad I'm learning this through someone in the chat 4 years later into our relationship.
I don't even know how they fucking found that. I didn't even know that was out there.
So you're relying on the fact that I would not find that out.
How am I lying?
No, I'm saying you're relying on the fact that I would not find it out.
Why is it a big deal?
It's not, but you're
stupid video.
But you're like, oh, I can't believe you found that out. You should have never
when,
seen that.
When did I ever say that?
Yeah, now he's really reaching deep into his asshole to pull things out to be upset about. He's fighting ghosts. He's having an argument with an imaginary enemy in his own mind here. Like, it's not like she was relying on the fact that you'd never find this. This is something that she would never be thinking about in the first place, because it is absolutely just not a big deal. And the fact that you did see it is not a big deal either. Like, at all. I don't know why he starts, like, questioning her, like, I don't even know who those people are. It's like, well, yeah, you probably don't. It was 10 years ago, and I'm guessing they're not friends 10 years after high school, right? Like, it's just not that deep. Like, it's not hiding something from you. It's just, like, who cares about it? Like, why is that something she'd ever think to bring up? Like, sitting you down, listen, we need to have a serious talk. I made a YouTube video 10 years ago. No, there was nothing, like, bad about it. We just actually talked about nothing, but I needed you to know. I filmed a YouTube video once. Like, what's the conversation even supposed to look like there? It's it's a profound nothing sandwich here. There is nothing to be upset about. And yet he is still going on and on about it. I won't show you too much more. I'll just go ahead and show you how it ends, where he just decides to end stream in a bad mood about it, mad at her.
I don't understand how like you like just don't remember like, oh yeah, we did this thing before.
I'm not thinking.
It's not
about
like-
it,
it's not like-
it wasn't a series. I was never
I
on
know,
a podcast.
okay.
I was never
I
doing
get it.
YouTube like that. I made a video before on YouTube.
Bruh. I'm just gonna stream, guys.
That's so stupid.
Everyone, have a good night. Peace.
No.
She's absolutely right. That is so stupid. I couldn't believe the argument that I had listened to here, so I just had to talk about it. That's really about it. So yeah. People recording the most embarrassing moments of their lives and then proudly posting it online has become an extremely common trend. I'm still not entirely sure if they do it out of pure delusion, thinking that they're in the right or it makes them look good, or if they do it knowing that they're going to be a punching bag and a spittoon for the internet to just make fun of and point and laugh at. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter. I'm just happy to be brought along for the ride. They open up the door and they say, "Climb aboard, Charles." this train's bound for Cringe Town. Take your seat. So, I get to go on these pathetic journeys with our protagonists here, and today I've got a wacky one cooked up for you that I think probably a lot of you have seen, because apparently this went pretty viral on TikTok.
Whew. Let me just get the door for you.
Okay. He got me at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. I ain't getting out this car. Yes.
Our main character is upset because her date brought her to the Cheesecake Factory, and now she's refusing to get out of the car. Kind of like a toddler that refuses to get out of the car to go to school because they just don't want to go. She's just offended that he would dare take her to the Cheesecake Factory when that's not the most glamorous spot in the world.
Would you want me to open the door for you? Look. You're recording me?
Yeah. This is the Cheesecake Factory.
God, this just feels so sinister. The video opens with him being pretty sweet. He's like, oh, would you like me to get the door for you? You know, like quintessential Disney chivalry, basically. You know, and he goes around the side to get the door, and that's when he's ambushed with the realization, like, oh, you're recording me. And she's doing this all, like, very proud of herself for it, as if she's somehow, you know, winning this whole exchange like it's some kind of competition. Like, he brought me to the Cheesecake Factory, so I'm gonna film and shame him for this in front of my whole audience. It's what he deserved. He commits the crime of taking me to the Cheesecake Factory, an unforgivable sin, because she believes it's beneath her. She's entitled to the highest end restaurant Bikini Bottom has to offer here. Not the Krusty Krab, not the Chum Bucket, but that one restaurant that takes place in the giant pirate ship. I forgot the name of it. And now that she's not there, she's having a tantrum and trying to put this guy on blast in front of her audience for it.
This is the Cheesecake Factory, y'all.
What's the problem with that?
This is a chain restaurant. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant?
You want to talk about it? I'm fine with talking about it, even in front of them.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Come on, get up on in the car. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
I really just don't even understand what the problem is in the first place. At risk of sounding like an out-of-touch fool, what the fuck is wrong with the Cheesecake Factory? I know it's become like a little bit of a meme over the last year or so, but it's not some like dilapidated, rinky-dink stink establishment that just serves toxic sludge and shoelaces like some kind of barren wasteland of bad food service or anything. It's a fine restaurant. It's a fine chain. I've never had like a negative experience there or anything. It's also not super cheap, so it's not like he's, you know, taking her to the worst place he could possibly find via Yelp reviews or anything. Like, I've always enjoyed the Cheesecake Factory. You're not gonna go there and find glory holes in the bathroom stalls or anything. It's a decent spot. So, I mean, if this dude was trying to wine and dine me at the Cheesecake Factory, I might end up strangling his cock with my pussy. I would be appreciative. Like, it's not a bad restaurant. And at the end of the day, it shouldn't matter what restaurant or whatever the date takes place in, because you're not really going for the establishment itself. You're going for the company of the other person to get to know them and see if you're compatible or see if you can have fun together. At least that's how I envision dating should be. I don't think you're usually going there to just try and get like a good meal out of it. It's usually to try and experience something with somebody else and see how things go, if you hit it off or not.
When you take out a beautiful woman and you're courting her, because I get courted. So you're courting her, right? You're supposed to take care of her. You're supposed to cover her. You're supposed to protect her, cherish her, treat her well, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I agree. I
At the
went
Cheesecake
into this
Factory?
date as I expected.
While I appreciate the free tutorial on dating that she offers, I have to say, this lecture feels like some kind of monologue out of the climax of a romance anime. You're supposed to cherish, cover, protect her, keep her safe, wish her well. You're not going to the front lines of a fucking war zone. You're going to dinner. Like, what do you mean with all of this? It's not like he put you in harm's way. It's not like he, like, sat you down on landmines or something and played a game of chicken. Like, he says, you're just going to dinner, and he's done nothing wrong. You know, she's acting like she's the ADC in League of Legends and he's her support.
With the expectations for myself, to keep you safe, you know, to respect you, to pay for your food, of course, pick you up, of course, and just treat you like a gentleman, which I believe I have done.
I mean, you've been pretty nice, but I mean,
and then
Cheesecake Factory.
I, on the other hand, have certain expectations for a girl I go out with on the first date. I expect her to be respectful too.
That's totally reasonable. Expecting your date to be respectful. I think that's perfectly acceptable. This was extremely disrespectful from her. Not only to refuse to get out of the car because she didn't want to go to the Cheesecake Factory, but then to film this entire exchange blows my mind. How she couldn't process how bad she looks and how much she looks like an asshole here is beyond my comprehension. And I really think it just speaks to this main character syndrome that half of society is deluded with right now, where they're never in the wrong. It's all the props around them that are wrong. Now, there is another thing I want to mention. She doesn't have to go to the Cheesecake Factory just because her date brought her there. Like, let's say she treats the Cheesecake Factory like I do with Burger King. Hell on earth. You know, it's the worst place in the world. Maybe she hates the Cheesecake Factory as much as I hate James Corden, and she just really doesn't want to go. You can still handle this in a really appropriate adult manner by just simply saying something like, hey, look, I just don't like the Cheesecake Factory. I've never really enjoyed it. Is there any other restaurants we can go to tonight and that isn't here? And if not, maybe we can just reschedule and do something else some other time if that's okay. Like, you can still be super polite about it and have it be like a conversation with the other person as opposed to just whipping out your phone to try and dogpile and shame this person because they took you to a restaurant that you think is beneath you.
I mean, I feel like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do as a woman.
But
I got myself all made
up. There's nothing
up.
wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Yes, there's a lot wrong with the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay, well, look at my planner, where we were gonna go originally.
I actually really wish she had dove into like all the problems with the Cheesecake Factory and just gave me her scathing review, because I'm trying to figure out what all she could hate so much about the place. But anyway, I skipped around a little bit here, but I'll fill in the blanks. The guy in the video is clearly starting to get very nervous because now not only is his date being directly disrespectful to him, but now he also has to talk to her audience. So he's like basically on trial right now, getting interrogated and getting pressed because he dared take his date to the Cheesecake Factory.
See, now that's where we should have went. All right there. Call him.
No.
What do you mean no?
See,
I mean,
I'm waiting for a reservation.
We can still get to know each other. Isn't there another restaurant you can call that, like, you know, the equivalent to that? I mean,
I literally
you don't
said,
understand. Look at me. I cannot go in the Cheesecake Factory.
There's nothing wrong with
I will die.
Oh my god, her attitude is so infuriating. It's like someone wrote her as a character in a show that everyone is supposed to dislike. It's amazing that this is a real exchange. Now, again, I've cut quite a bit out here because it becomes mainly like a debate. Like, she's treating dating like it's a battle. So he tries to explain, like, look, things haven't been great for me in our experiences so far either. You were like over an hour late, you know, previously, and then you didn't want to like hold my arm or anything like that, didn't invite me in, so I was just getting the signals that maybe we're not at this point where we should be going to these super expensive restaurants together. We should get to know each other a little bit, you know, slower at places like the Cheesecake Factory, which I think is a fine thought process there. Like, okay, so we're not at the point where we're close enough or really getting to know each other enough that we should be going to these like really wild places. Let's start small at something more like the Cheesecake Factory. I think that makes a ton of sense. And here he says, like, look, this is where I think we could go at some point or could have gone. And she's like, nope, that's where we should have gone tonight. Call them now. And he's just like, no, I'm not doing that. So then she's saying, just call something else that's equivalently fancy. He's like, no, I'm not doing that either. Like, I can't believe that she still thinks this is a salvageable situation. This is completely ruined. This is kaput. You are not going to get dinner together tonight after this. You shouldn't be going to get dinner together after this. You have refused to get out of his car. You have decided to publicly try and humiliate him for something he didn't even really do wrong in the first place. Why the fuck would he then go out of his way to go to like another wildly over-the-top restaurant or something like that? It's pure delusion.
So, respectfully, I'm gonna just drop you off at home.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Yeah. I'm up.
So, you just want to call it a night? I mean,
Yeah.
isn't there some kind of compromise or something? Ladies, can you believe this?
I was actually shocked that he still drove her home and offered to take her and drop her off. I imagine a lot of people in this situation would have told her just, get out and take an Uber home or something. So I do think this was a big W move from the guy here. He felt very disrespected because he obviously was. And he said, look, this is where the evening concludes. I'm just going to take you home. And somehow she has the gall to be surprised. Like, I don't understand how she would be shocked that he's just taking her back. You've insulted him, and you have publicly tried to shame him. Why in the fuck would he still try and, compromise to find, a dinner for you two that evening? So, that's kind of where the whole thing stops. I just don't understand why she would ever do this in the first place, and not only do this, but then post it. It's so wild to me. It's such a fascinating concept, because this is a truly embarrassing moment. You have filmed one of the worst dates I have ever seen. Well, I'm sure there's worse dates, but one of the cringiest dates I've ever seen because of you, and you're the one that posted it. I don't know, it's fucking awful. That's really about it. I just had to talk about it a little bit. That's it. See ya. Have you ever been bullied? I'm assuming all of you said yes to that, because pretty much everyone in the world at some point in their lives has been made fun of for something. But if you're someone who said no, you're most likely a liar. Or the coolest person on the planet, you're very fortunate. God bless you, I suppose. But it's time you start getting bullied, so I'll go ahead and be your first experience with it. Fuck you, stupid face. Now we're all on an even playing field. So I'm sure, like I said, all of us have experienced, in one way or another, being made fun of by our peers. But I think what very few of us have experienced is being bullied by the person who gave us life.
I am so pissy today. Just downright motherfuckers today.
This lady who kicks off this rant with a Chewbacca screech is an OnlyFans model who has a child. And she's about to go on this big spiel about how her child being sick at school has cock-blocked her. And she just starts insulting her own flesh and blood. Admittedly, I'm also a bit confused on what she even means when she says she's downright motherfuckers today. Am I out of touch, or is she the problem? I don't get what that means. It seems like she's just desperately trying to be, quirky.
I had to come up here. I had to come up here at fucking 11 o'clock in the afternoon. That's prime time. That's prime time. If you know what I mean.
She goes nonverbal there for a moment and starts spamming Fortnite emotes, but don't worry, I'm picking up what she's putting down here. So she's complaining that she's now had to go all the way out here at 11 o'clock in the afternoon, which immediately is news to me. I didn't know 11 o'clock made it to the afternoon. Feels like it probably shouldn't meet that criteria, but who am I to question such an intellectual? But she's upset because apparently 11 o'clock is prime time coitus. Which again, very enlightening information for me. My third eye is being forced open here to the truth. 11 o'clock feels like it'd be one of the most inconvenient times to schedule your fucking bedroom ham sandwich appointments. It feels like that's right in the middle of the workday for a lot of normal people. It's also just generally early for such debauchery. But who am I to be questioning this? She's upset because it's now intruded upon her having sex. And now she's inconvenienced and she's irate.
But listen, so that's partly why I'm cranky, but I'm cranky because my child is 10. I had to come up to the school and I had to pick him up. Why? Why did I have to fucking pick this kid up? I had to pick this kid up because he's a man, okay? He's a little man and he's got a weak ass stomach like fucking most men do.
She gets so heated that her eyes start going cross during this. He's not a little man. He's a little kid. He's 10 years old. He's a boy. And he was puking. It makes sense that the school would call the mother to come pick up the kid because he puked a few times. Can you imagine being the kid and seeing your mom just flaming you online in a viral rant? That's gotta be downright diabolical to experience. Especially if, his classmates see it. that'll just be infinite ammunition to use against him anytime they want to make him feel bad. Just bring up that his mom insults him publicly online. It also feels so weird hearing his actual mother refer to him as this kid. That's like something you used to say on Xbox Live during some Call of Duty shit talking. Oh, this kid's just fucking camping, noob-tube one-man army, coward. Like, I don't know why she, like, harbors such disdain for him here over something he can't control. Puking.
So somebody busted ass in the library. He threw up not one time, not two times, but 3 times in the library. Literally the nurse calls and she's like, you're gonna have to come pick up your son because he just vomited 3 times in the library, like exorcist style, all over the place. Why? He's not even sick. Some kid farted next to him and he said that it made his stomach feel bad.
She tries to channel her inner Jim Carrey here for the comedy of the video. And I'm not entirely sure if this is real or not, this story she's telling, or if she's just trying to put on some kind of performance. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much you try and dilute cringe, it's still cringe. The result will be the same here. She does have a child, and you are using him as the punchline of your joke, assuming this is all just a made-up story. And if anyone in his schools, from his class, sees this, they will undoubtedly make fun of him for it, because you are making fun of him. I remember when I was growing up, I used to get made fun of for being short, or actually there was a period in 4th grade where there was one guy in particular who used to make fun of me for having really red lips, so he called me Lipstick Boy. He was the only one that made fun of me in that manner, but for some reason that really struck a chord and it made me feel terrible. I couldn't imagine then going home and like hopping on TikTok and seeing my mom be like, my son just fucking puked 3 times because someone let out a stinky fart. What a weak boy. What a weak little man. And it makes me upset because I was about to fuck. I was about to have some naughty sex. And now I've got my stupid son who needs to get picked up from school. What a waste of time and what a waste of space that kid is. It's like, Jesus, that would hurt on such an unbelievably profound level. It would actually hurt more if this is a fake story. Like, Mom, why are you lying about me just to dunk on me for internet points? Like, Jesus, why are you treating me like a punching bag? And, of course, I'd go into school the next day, afraid, looking over my own shoulder, like, every step of the way down the hallway, wondering who's going to insult me if they happen to see my mom's viral video.
So I have to interrupt my day because some kid's got a rank asshole? That's a new kind of skip block. What? That's some bullshit. And I was like, does he have to pick it up? Like, can it be like an hour? Can we like work something out? And he was like, he needs to be picked up immediately because he threw up.
I really don't get why she tries to censor herself. So instead of saying cock block, she just puts up the C and then like, I don't know, stop sign. I actually don't really know what that was. A fucking force push at the camera. But like she does like mouth the words cock block, and I don't know why she doesn't just say it with her whole chest. She says bullshit, she says fuck. Like, it's not as though she's censoring bad words or anything. So what is the point in all of these huge, exaggerated Pixar animation gestures when talking about you having to leave getting piped to pick up your kid? I don't really understand the point of that.
He threw up because he has a weak stomach. What about the kid who busted ass so fucking bad that he cleared out an entire goddamn library? That seems like a problem. He seems like he should get some medical attention. Not my kid.
Busted ass doesn't mean what you think it means, lady. It doesn't refer to farting, it refers to falling and hurting yourself. That's when you bust ass. What you're looking for, what you're trying to use, is ripping ass. Ripping ass is what you're trying to describe here. You're not even using the correct terminology. You're not using the preferred scientific nomenclature to refer to this incident.
Not my kid who's just got a weak stomach. Damn. It's not, I'm gonna Kool-Aid man through the side of a wall today. That's what I'm gonna do. Yep, I'm gonna do because I'm pent up and I got a lot of aggression.
Here's what I think. I think at some level this story has true elements, but it's embellished for the sake of her being able to exaggerate because she thought it would make for a silly video that TikTok would gobble up. But I don't know why she thought it would go over well. At the core of this story she's telling, it's she's having sex, has to stop having sex because her child is puking at school, and she's insulting her child for that. It's a horrible look for you. This is not a story you'd ever share if it was true because it would be embarrassing and make you look like an very uncaring mom. But if it's fake, it makes you look like an attention-seeking clout chaser that will use their kid as a stepping stool, like a fucking doormat, for some clout. There's just no winners with whatever your plan was with this video. Regardless of the authenticity of the story told here, at the very least, it is cringe. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. Having a healthy family dynamic is extremely important in raising a child. Having a good relationship between parents and children is probably the most impactful thing to someone growing up. And that's not groundbreaking new information here. You know, this isn't like an episode of Rugrats where I'm coming at you like Dr. Lipschitz here, dropping all of this wisdom about raising children. Everyone knows this. If your parents come home from work every day and crack open a cold brewski, kick sand in your face and call you mean names like dweeb and tell you you're ugly, it's just not an optimal environment to be raised in. And you know what else is an awful environment to be raised in? The household of this Sopranos actress. There's an actress named Drea De Matteo who just went... I'm sorry if I butchered her name. I haven't seen The Sopranos. Sue me. Sorry. I know it's like one of the most beloved television series of all time. I haven't seen it yet. But this actress from The Sopranos went on a podcast and she mentioned that she lets her 13-year-old son edit some of her OnlyFans photos. Did you hear Drea De Matteo from The Sopranos just admitted that her 13-year-old son edits her OnlyFans photos? Your phrasing of that really isn't indicative of how she talked about it. She was proud of it, as if it was a normal thing. Yeah, I did see that. Here, I'll pull it up for you. She was on like a podcast and was talking about her OnlyFans work, and the question came up about like her 13-year-old like working for her, and she was like, "Oh yeah, no, he edits my OnlyFans photos, so let's come talk to me about like, Mom, what do you want me to do about this bikini line?" And of course, I don't let him see any of the other girls' stuff or whatever.
Queen.
You're doing girl-on-girl collabs.
Yes, because
we are switching this pot up. Okay, let's get
Blackjack in Alabama. My kids are out there. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry,
wait,
but they know.
They know who their
Before
mama
you
is.
start, your son was outside saying he edits your OnlyFans photos.
Oh yeah.
That is
He's like,
demented.
What do with the bikini line here?
Yeah.
That is just demented. The shamelessness is crazy. I don't know how that's not like a crime. Doesn't that have to be some kind of like... I guess I don't know what OnlyFans content she's talking about. But like if a 13-year-old is editing pornographic content, that has gotta be illegal.
So you don't have to apologize to them, I don't think.
No,
I love
but
it.
they don't see the girl shot.
I also cannot believe the response from these two. He's acting like this is some kind of normal thing. Like, I remember when I was a 13-year-old boy and my mom came up to me and said, "Hey son, you want to make a couple quarters this summer? Edit my porn." And I said, "All right. Simple blue-collar work. Put some hair on your chest." And then she says that she loves it. That's unhinged.
But I do go over that with them before I ever put them out. I was like, "Are you okay with this?" Because it's like, if I were to do it in a movie, because I would make out with girls in movies all day long before
What
I'd even make out with
movies are
boys.
names, but really, I think the same way.
Download for the plane?
The same way that you have these conversations with your kids, I think you need to call me before you do it. Also,
Torch Queen.
So I haven't seen the full clip or anything. This guy seems kind of creepy. But this whole thing is absurd. So she's saying like, "Oh yeah, I'd make out with girls all the time in movies, you know." So I check with my son to make sure it's okay. Like what? Having a 13-year-old edit your OnlyFans content has to be illegal. Like, I don't understand how in her rotted brain she thinks that those two things are comparable, where her making out with, like, other women on screen is somehow, like, even in the same ballpark as having your 13-year-old son edit your OnlyFans photos. Like, in those movies or whatever where you'd be making out with other actresses, your son is not on the director's staff telling you to do it or editing the content. It's fucking gross. I don't know anything about this lady at all. All I know is that's some shit that should earn you a one-way trip to the slammer. I checked out her OnlyFans out of curiosity. She doesn't do nudes, but it's obviously still sexual content. Okay. Curiosity got the best of you. Did you pay for it? That's big investigative journalism. But it still doesn't change anything. Even if it's still not nude, editing sexual content is... having a 13-year-old edit your sexual content is absolutely foul. Her kids should unionize. That's so true. I won't use any more Photoshop on my mom's titties until we're paid a fair wage. Give us 10,000 more V-Bucks. Hell no, I didn't pay. I just found an archive of her OnlyFans content with all her photos and videos. Sure you did. She is full-blown loopy off that poopy. That is deranged. Even if she's not doing full nude content or full-blown porn, having a child edit any kind of sexual content is outrageous. I do not know how she is not in handcuffs from admitting that. I also decided to watch a little more of the podcast, and it doesn't really get touched on again. They kind of just gloss over that, even though that shit sticks out like a sore thumb. Like, I don't know how that wasn't pushed back on by the two other people there. They seemed very supportive of that statement, which is gross. But I decided to also look into a little bit more about this actress. And this is what she had to say about doing OnlyFans. According to her, she initially wanted to launch it as a podcast hosted with her boyfriend that focused on politics and current affairs, saying, quote, we wanted to do it there because it wouldn't be censored and everything was being censored. We have no freedom of speech anymore. And then she started doing steamy content, and even though she's not doing full frontal nudity or X-rated scenes, she has come to regard her OnlyFans work as a political statement. I had to give myself the narrative that this is the only way I can fight for my freedom right now, and that's basically to be naked. To be naked with my beliefs and my politics and what I want for my kids' future. And I think that people are so afraid right now to speak their minds. What kind of hullabaloo are you going on here? This is a buzzword after buzzword. What do you mean? To be naked with your beliefs and politics and what you want for your kid's future? Do you want your kid's future to be endlessly bullied? Like, your kid's future right now is a porn editor. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Crazy lady, snap back to reality. You started OnlyFans because you stopped being able to land any kind of meaningful Hollywood roles. Your kid's future was not top of mind when you started doing OnlyFans content and then hired them as your editor on staff. And I'm using the word hire super loosely because I bet she doesn't pay the 13-year-old. Maybe she does. I don't know, some kind of allowance or some shit. I have no clue. But this is so disgusting. And what's even crazier is this isn't the only time I've heard of this. There was a video that went viral like a year and a half ago about a mother whose daughter was editing her OnlyFans content for her, and even directing and taking photos for the mother for her OnlyFans content. That's so fucked up. I don't know how it's happened not once but twice now. Like, it makes no sense to me. How delusional can you possibly be to try and spin this as some kind of wholesome fight the power narrative here? Like, how can you in any way look at this as anything positive? Like, what fucking statement are you making about being naked or doing whatever sexual content you do on OnlyFans? Even though she says that this is her way of, you know, getting back to get naked. That was her words. So does she get naked on OnlyFans? I don't really know. But what is confirmed is that she has a 13-year-old edit some of the content for her. That's fucking crazy. That is a lunatic right there. Like, what is the political statement you're making? Child labor, two thumbs way up? Like, what? Children should be able to edit sexual content? Like, what statement are you making, weirdo? It's so fucking odd. Alright, listen, son. Mommy's gonna go get finger banged on camera. I'll make sure to write down timestamps for you to highlight the best moments for OnlyFans for the montage. I feel so bad for her son here. I feel so bad for the kid in this situation. But yeah, I had to talk about this a little bit. It's another brain-rotted Hollywood celebrity doing gross shit. That's about it. See ya. Ooh, you smell that? It smells like someone's wrong, and it's not me. A month ago, I made a video talking about an honest mistake I made where I accidentally re-uploaded the same video. I plagiarized myself, I copied my own homework, and I apologized for it because that's just such a silly mistake to make. But since posting that video, I've unintentionally opened Pandora's box and released some really aggressive hall monitors into the world. Since then, I've gotten tons of emails and Twitter threads, and it's just flooding the comments, not even Moses could part that shit with a Beyblade, of people accusing me of making that same mistake again, on like every single new video. Charlie, you remember a couple days ago when you posted that moment from stream? Well, you'd already uploaded that months ago. How could you possibly forget? You know, Charlie, you've already made this mistake before. You've posted this video. This is a re-upload. Why are you re-uploading this video, Charlie? I'm starting to get a little upset that you keep milking the same content. How could you possibly forget that you've already posted this a couple weeks ago? But what they don't realize is I never posted that video they think I did. You see, what's happening is they're watching that content on other people's channels that just re-upload my stream moments. So there's a ton of channels on YouTube that'll just take my streams and break it up into like 15 different videos for every single fucking thing I did during that stream. Anytime I went up to take a piss, that's a 3-minute video of just me going to piss and coming back. If I ripped ass, it's a whole Charlie Juices a fart video somewhere. And people are watching those videos, which are released right after my stream, whereas I'll post an edited version of the same stream weeks later, so then people have already seen it on those channels and then assume that I was the one that posted that shit without realizing that no, they just took the content way before I had it edited. Which, again, let me make this clear, I don't mind people re-uploading my streams, it is what it is, it doesn't really bother me, as long as people are just having fun with the content, that's the most important thing to me. But what really does grind my ass cheeks into a fine paste of putrid upsetness and anger is to be constantly accused every time I do post an edited stream of re-uploading it. Like today, for example, I posted this video about a guy who steals 2 police cars in a single police chase. It basically makes it seem like Grand Theft Auto 5 was based on this guy's true story. It is an extremely exhilarating nuts-to-butts adventure. So I posted that today, but since it was on stream, you can see Kevin James uploaded it over a month ago because he uploaded the full raw no rubber stream session there. Now, yes, this is the real Kevin James, Adam Sandler's friend, star of Grown Ups and Paul Blart Mall Cop, and I understand he's a big fan and I appreciate that. I don't mind signing his titties if he'd like me to. And like I said, I have no problem with him or other people uploading these things, but what I do have a problem with is people lacking object permanence. Like if I put my fucking hand behind my back, you can rationalize that my hand isn't all of a sudden ceasing to exist. Like it's not like I just lost my hand because you can't see it, right? So not exactly applicable. What I'm fucking saying is, I can't stand that people lack just the most basic reasoning ability. On this new video, a lot of the comments are just screaming, re-upload, just yelling at me. Charlie, you've already posted this, it's a re-upload, maybe it's because you're fucking short that you just forgot, if only you were taller you wouldn't make this mistake, oh, it's a fucking re-upload, and JoJo's Part 3 and 4 are the best things to ever exist. Like, just constant, like, whining and accusing me of something I didn't do. And it takes just 2 seconds of, like, thinking about it, like, what's more likely? Charlie re-uploaded this, or I saw this somewhere else on YouTube, knowing that there's hundreds of channels that do this. Like, it takes literal seconds to just think that through. And then, if you want to go the extra mile, you can even look it up before tossing around accusations and making a Twitter thread and sending me a long-winded email. There should be a few steps in between you having your Winter Soldier moment where your eyes roll into the back of your head, you're like, wait a minute, I've seen this before, but where? And then you sending me a 6-paragraph long email that's been proofread by your English professor explaining why you think I'm an idiot for a re-upload I never even did in the first place. And some people were getting so irrationally angry that I was just getting fucking blown away. Like some people are like, I'm gonna fucking sue you, Charlie, for this. You'll be hearing from my lawyer. You made me watch the same video twice without informing me beforehand, and now I'm fucking pissed. You know, it's like, okay, well, that didn't happen, you're just dumb, and B, calm the fuck down. Goddamn. So yeah, hopefully that explains this whole situation. That's about it. See ya. Instagram comedy, the lowest form in human entertainment. On the tier list of entertainment, there's the Star Wars prequels, then there's hitting a pile of dog shit with a stick, then there's watching your fingernails grow, and then at the very bottom, there's Instagram comedians. It is absolutely rock bottom in terms of entertainment. It's fucking awful. I'd rather be watching an audio wave of a man snoring into a microphone for 8 hours. It's really just painful to watch a lot of the Instagram comedians and their videos, but the best thing I can say about it is I guess it's better than swallowing a live grenade after the pin's been pulled. But in the grenade's defense, at least when that explodes, it's not as loud as the Instagram videos. Every single comedy video on Instagram is the same, where it's just eardrum shattering music, where the music is the punchline. It's a fucking awful formula. It's abysmal. But I'm not here to just talk about bad Instagram comedians, because they're all bad. Instagram comedian and awful are synonymous. I'm here to talk about the only good Instagram comedian, and I can't really call him an Instagram comedian because he's more of just an Instagram narcissist, and this is the finest J-Seal. He's the only one in the Instagram comedy game that's just fucking killing it. Let's take a look. So here's J-Seal's page. He's basically treating it like OkCupid or Tinder, where every picture is supposed to be a glamour shot of him and showcasing different things, but it's all just him bragging about his appearance or asking his followers, hey, would you guys fuck me? I'd fuck me. Let's all fuck me. And that's pretty much all he does here, but he does dip his dick into a little bit of comedy, if you can even call it that. And we're going to look at all of it today to really show you why J-Seal is Instagram's finest comedy champion. Open that asshole, because we're blasting it with some serious humor here. This is all of his comedy stuff. It's usually just text messages with goofy face filters on them, and it's stolen jokes, and that's about it. He also always does this thing where it's spell out specific word, like butthole, letter by letter in the comments, and I'll follow and spam you guys or some shit, or give you some of my pubic hair, just some dumb shit. And it's just a pad for comments, and it's just a really odd thing that I've never seen before. And he genuinely does this on almost every single picture here. Let's go for this one. Girl when they get their period versus when they get off. Goofy face and spell out period. Oh man, how creative. Now this one's my favorite. This is one I saw pretty early on when he posted it, and I laughed really fucking hard. That's why I genuinely think he's the best comedian on here. So you like it for J-Seal, and you ignore it if you like the devil. Do you like the devil? Fuck no you don't, so you're gonna like it for J-Seal. It's an extremely effective tactic in order to get more likes on your pictures and pretty much anything on YouTube, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a page out of J-Seal's playbook here and integrate it into the YouTube game, make a whole new meta of YouTubing. So make sure to fucking smash, annihilate, clobber that like button for Jesus, or just ignore it and don't interact with the like button at all if you don't want presents from Santa Claus this Christmas. Would you slap him for $1 million? How could you? For only $1 million, you would slap that face? You fucking kidding me? You must like devil. You gotta be real stinky to slap this man for a measly $1 million. Look at how innocent he looks here. These candid photos. He probably didn't even know a picture was being taken of him. Such a humble being. I wasn't exaggerating when I said this is the only type of shit he posts. A lot of times it's in third person, like he's Mexican and tall, would you fuck him? But sometimes he has these nuggets of inspiration, such as, in a year you can change a lot. You can go from tilting your head to the left to looking more straight on the camera. It's amazing the type of drastic change that can occur in a year. Just look at that one. One thing you'll notice if you look at his page is you'll never have to wonder exactly what nationality he is nor how tall he is, because it's in nearly every single one of his posts. I don't exactly know why he does it. I'm guessing he posts these pictures in the hopes that a big-tittied girl will find him attractive and send him some direct messages, but I really don't know for sure. It doesn't matter what your tastes are, whether you like green eyes or tall boys, J-Seal matches all the criteria you're looking for. Please swipe right. Now, I'm not often confused when I look through J-Seal's posts because it's about the same level as a third grader in terms of communication and in terms of what kind of jokes are being told, but this one really threw me for a loop. I was absolutely baffled. I still got a good hoot out of it, but I didn't really understand what was being said here, so I guess this is how people react when we find out these things about him. I'm not sure. So I guess now that I found out these things, I'm supposed to go take my shirt off in front of a mirror and cup my nutsack, or look suspicious in the backseat of a car, or stand next to a tree. All pretty normal reactions, I'd say. Whenever I learn something new about a person I'm meeting, I'll have to excuse myself to the bathroom so I can strip down completely nude and spread my ass in front of the mirror. When I first found J-Seal's page, I actually didn't believe he was a real person. I thought this was some type of AI test, like a Google, Microsoft J-Seal, where it's a learning algorithm to become the world's biggest douchebag on Instagram. But as I scrolled further down, it turns out he's actually done videos such as Would I Cheat? And he's a real person. And that was absolutely shocking. When I found that out, I couldn't help but grab a handful of my ball sack and take a picture of it.
Question a lot. And they asked me, would I ever cheat on someone?
Apart from the odd video here and there, it's right back to your regularly scheduled narcissism. I honestly do mean it when I say this page made me laugh harder than any other Instagram comedian's page on the entire fucking platform. There's just something about it, a special pizzazz about this account. It's just this perfect blend of what the fuck are you thinking posting these things and why the fuck are you posting these things. It reminds me of the old email days where you'd get like an email from your grandma or grandpa and they'd always attach a photo of themselves because they saw that that was an option. They thought it was a requirement. So you'd always get like this weird picture of your grandma or grandpa attached to every email, which was unrelated to whatever they sent you. And that's what the same type of vibe I get from this man's Instagram account. It's fucking awe-inspiring, and it really did make me laugh. So hats off to the finest Jaceel, the finest Instagram comedian the platform has to offer. See ya. I hope you've had a wonderful day, because I'm about to make it a little worse. I'm gonna give you something you get very angry about. I'll be like Krampus over here ruining your Christmas. Let me just hit you with the quick Wikipedia plot summary here. There's a professional Dota 2 player named Ninja Boogie, who was recently fired from his esports org because his mom had stage 4 cancer and they were afraid it was going to affect his performance. Yeah, it's as fucked up as it sounds. Regardless of how you feel about esports, I'm sure you can all recognize that getting fired from your job for something like this is beyond evil. Here's his tweet about it. Unfortunately, his mother did pass away, and he did get let go by his org, and that org is Team SMG, who posted this announcement thanking Boogie for all of his hard work and all of that, even posting a little gif of him dancing, making it seem like they're really gonna miss him, even though they were the ones that initiated this departure for something outside of Boogie's control. Boogie commented asking them to tell the real reason for the kick, and they've gone radio silent ever since. Team SMG's using a timeless classic here. This is a strategy that's been used since the beginning of time, just putting your fingers in your ears and pretending not to hear all of the screams of people calling for you to address what you fucked up with. When you really make a big mistake, suck a fart out of butt, instead of taking responsibility, just ignore everything. It's worked a million times in the past. Now, I don't know much about Team SMG. I know it stands for Stay Moving Under Gunfire, which is a pretty silly name. It sounds like an Xbox Live randomly generated gamer tag, but I also know that it's run by this guy who has a bored ape for a profile pic, and this is some real bored ape behavior here, firing someone because their mom has cancer. So I didn't know anything about Team SMG before all of this, and now the only thing I know them for is being complete scumbags, and I think they're grosser than shit stains in a gas station urinal. Ninja Boogie went into a little bit more detail on how all of this happened. The way he describes it in these tweets is he was due for a boot camp on a certain day, and then his mother had a stroke, and he was talking with management asking if it'd be okay to move the flights around a little bit to accommodate him so he could spend some time with his mom and see how all of that's going. And he'd still be there in time for the boot camp with, plenty of time to spare. But after telling them what his decision was, hoping that the flights could be arranged a little bit so he could see his mom, they kicked him. What an absolute Sigma grind set. Oh, your family's dying? That's no excuse, pussy. Get the fuck off the squad if you can't focus on dubskis. Family is temporary. The blockchain is forever. Bored apes for life. Yeah, NFTs. Yeehaw. Now, for what it's worth, I don't actually think the Bored Ape guy was the one who made the decision to kick Boogie from the team. I'm pretty sure he's just a very hands-off, passive owner who pumps money into this in the hopes that he can sell it for more in a couple of years and doesn't really make any decisions with the org. But I still do like to joke about Bored Ape enthusiasts. There were just so many ways of handling this situation with even just an iota of sympathy and care. He wasn't even missing anything. He was just going to arrive a bit later to boot camp than initially anticipated. He was still going to be there on time, which means he would have still fulfilled all of his obligations, even in spite of all the terrible shit he was going through. And for some reason, they still decided it wasn't good enough and kicked him. They could have given him, like, a brief leave or something. They could have just given him time off. They didn't have to, like, go the nuclear option and just fucking boot him off of the squad. He was still going to compete and still wanting very much to compete. Just absolutely foul from Team SMG, and I really hope they do comment on this at some point here pretty soon. I hope they don't just keep burying their head in their own ass and just ignoring it. I would really like to see how they justify this, because I can't imagine a world where Team SMG is so delusional, high off their own farts, that they thought for a single second that Boogie wouldn't say why he got kicked. Obviously, people would ask why he got kicked, and they really thought he wouldn't say the reason, especially when it's this evil. How stupid can an org be? They fired him because his mom had cancer, and he wanted to spend a little extra time with her before going to boot camp. He was still going to go, and they fired him. and they thought that he wouldn't say that. They really expected him to just keep quiet as if it was some kind of like witness protection program kind of shit. Like, how stupid can you possibly be as an org? It makes no sense, and I'm really curious to see their side of this and how they explain all of it. But I imagine they'll never actually publicly comment on this unless, of course, they go for some, like, dog shit PR speak where it'll be something like, no, you guys have got it all wrong. We didn't kick him because of his family stuff. That had nothing to do with it. In fact, we only wished him and his family well and were supportive during this entire time. We actually kicked him because of many other variables behind the scenes. He got a C on his sociology report. There were just so many things that led to us making the difficult decision to part ways with him, and none of it had to do with his family or anything like that. So yeah, all around just an extremely horrible situation, and the team's name is still moving under gunfire, and I'm very curious to see how they move under this gunfire from the entire internet collapsing on top of them. I wonder how they're going to navigate this minefield here, because right now the strategy is ignore it, but I wonder how long they can continue to do that. And I really have to imagine for the players that are still signed to Team SMG, this doesn't bode well for their confidence in the org, because if something beyond their control happens, God forbid, the org is not going to stand behind them. Their jobs are in jeopardy if something happens in their lives that they can't control. Because clearly SMG has no problem cutting people for those kind of reasons. So it has to shake their confidence in their org, which is bad for the health of the entire org altogether, I would imagine. Team SMG showed that they're not afraid to fuck you in the ass. So for players that are currently signed, that's gotta be a red flag that their jobs can be in jeopardy in the drop of a hat. Out of nowhere, they could just get fired for something they had no control over. So pretty horrible look for Team SMG, and again, I really do hope they say something pretty soon. I held off on making this video for about 9 hours now, just waiting if they'll actually make a comment, and they still haven't, so I'm still gonna post it now, and hopefully pretty soon after they will say something, because there needs to be some level of explanation for what their thought process was with some absolute insanity like this. So yeah, that's about it. See ya. Happy Easter, everybody. I hope that jolly old Easter Bunny paid you a whimsical visit and blessed you with some of the most beautiful eggs you've ever seen. For me, the Easter Bunny gave me the gift of a finger up my ass, 10,000 years of pain Naruto style, because this morning I woke up and was tagged in a couple of tweets that immediately soured my mood. It's actually a conspiracy about me that really started to blossom in the place where neurons go to die. Twitter. I swear to God, Twitter is more damaging to your brain than doing whippets. It is brutal. So, I've said this a lot and I'll say it again, no matter what you do in life, no matter what, there will be people that find issue with it. Period. Point blank. I've used this expression before, and I'm sure all of you have heard this a million times. Maybe your pops sat you down back when you were in middle school and the bully kicked sand in your face and your dad was like, hey, listen, not everyone's going to like you. You can be the tastiest, best peach in the world, but somewhere out there's someone that doesn't like peaches. It's educating you on, hey look, there's so many people out there and not everyone's going to be your friend. But now with the modern age of the internet being this absolute battleground of brain rot, it's not about just not liking peaches. It's about trying to make up and conjure reasons for why peaches are evil. It's like a clown pulling the ribbon from his mouth, but instead of ribbon, it's people pulling shit from their butt here for why peaches are evil. Why the thing they don't like is actually a terrible, deplorable thing that everyone should hate. Just justifying hatred. Anyway, now to pull it all back, what I read today is about how the giveaways I do on stream, where I just have viewers fill out a form, tell me how much money they want, what they're using it for, and then I go through randomly, pure fucking RNG, and just pick people and then give them that money they requested, is actually a sinister tax write-off. I am using it for a nefarious purpose. There's actually a lot going on behind the scenes that make this a really bad thing, and me a bad person for doing it. I'll go ahead and play a clip from my most recent giveaway stream, and this is a thought that is prevalent quite a bit because this is not the only person that has said this. Like I mentioned today, there's been a couple of things I was tagged in that talk about this, and it just shocks me how even something as simple as just giving individuals money during streams is now a controversial issue. "Hey Charlie, no tax write-off, I mean free money giveaway tonight." So it seems like there's people that think me giving away random amounts of money to random viewers on stream is a tax write-off. Do you not know how that shit works? Do you know how tax write-offs work? Because I can't write those off. I cut the clip short because I did get heated. That legitimately hurts me. Like, I'm not going to try and put up a front where I'm unbothered. I have thick skin, sure, but this actually hurts me. I recognize how lucky I got in life, and I just want to do something nice with it. And then to be attacked, I suppose, by multiple people spamming that same kind of shit about how this guy super sucks, he's actually just doing this for a tax write-off, wake up, sheep. It's infuriating. So I'm going to go ahead and plant my feet here and lat spread like a fucking bat here, and I'm just going to try and tackle this sequid swarm head on. I will do what you could have easily done with 2 seconds of Googling. This isn't the only individual, obviously, and I did cut the clip short because I am a bit embarrassed that I called them out directly. I do feel bad about that, though. I mean, I don't know what you expected. That gets under my skin. That actually makes me really upset because you could easily just look this information up yourself and get the answers. I really feel like the people that keep parroting, the giveaway streams are all just a tax write-off for Charlie, this is fucking foul. I'm pretty sure they just heard that term either from their parents during like an argument or something, or through just doom scrolling on Twitter and they see a bunch of people vomiting, regurgitating these completely wrong things into each other's mouths and just patting each other on the ass for the enlightenment. You can Google this information, and within the first 4 results get the official response. Can you write off donations to individuals as some kind of charity tax deduction? The answer is a resounding fucking no. Gifts to individuals are not deductible. Only qualified organizations are eligible to receive tax-deductible contributions. And since I'm so confident you don't know what tax deductions are, you just have heard the term tax write-offs, I'll go ahead and explain that a tax write-off is the same thing as a tax deduction here. And I'll go ahead and define the term for you as well. A tax deductible is an expense that an individual taxpayer or a business can subtract from their adjusted gross income. The deductible expense reduces taxable income and therefore reduces the amount of income tax owed. Now there is something kind of like a giveaway expense that can be used as a write-off, but as I understand it, you can't deduct the value of gifts you make, and this usually applies to products, and usually products that apply to advertising your business. I couldn't find too much information on just giving away money itself to a bunch of different people, mainly just if you're giving away items such as pens, coffee cups, that kind of shit. Those are deductible, but not just giving money. It falls under like giving money to friends and family, which is something you do and you aren't taxed on per se, but it's not something you can write off either. All this information is right there at your fingertips. You could have just opened a new tab next to Twitter right before making your tweet thread about how this is all just some kind of galaxy brain supervillain plot for me to get tax write-offs and goodwill through doing giveaway streams, and you could have just Googled, is this shit like tax deductible? Is this a tax write-off? Or if you would just let your synapses fire for just a moment, you could have processed and thought logically, how the fuck could giving amounts of money to random individuals possibly be classified as a charitable tax-deductible expense? There would be so many cheats and exploits with that system, it'd make Call of Duty Warzone blush. You could have easily done something like send a ton of money to a bunch of NPCs with worm-sounding names like fucking Godfrey Horseradish, and then have them send that money back while you write it off as some kind of charity tax-deductible expense. And of course there are plenty of loopholes and exploits with the current system, absolutely. You see that a lot from like the upper echelon of the elite, 100%. Now, obviously, I'm not a tax code expert. The only thing I'm an expert in is getting strikes in bowling, of which I am a goddamn king. But when it comes to taxes, all I know is what is available information and then talking to people who are experts. So even if there was a way of being able to write off everything, it's not something that I'm interested in doing either. I don't do it for that reason. It's just that simple. I've said this a lot, but everyone has this desire to prove some kind of deep-seated diabolical motivation behind everything, even the most simple shit. And it's not always the case. Here it really is as simple as, I recognize how unbelievably fucking lucky I got in life to be where I am at the current moment. And I want to do the best I can to be able to help other people from this position. And a really fun way that I've been enjoying doing this is through stream giveaways, where, again, people that are just on stream fill out a Google form, they tell me how much money they want or need, and they tell me what it's going to be used for, they give me their PayPal email, and I just send it. I just go through randomly, send like between like 5 and 10K per stream here, and just try and help as much people as I can. Because I'm in a lucky position to be able to do that, and I want to be able to help other people as much as possible. And maybe this seems like an overblown reaction to it, because I understand it's not the majority of people that feel this way, but it's not a small amount either. There have been people, and this was during one of the earlier giving away streams, that have put in entries that call me out for being a piece of shit for even doing it in the first place. They went through the time of filling out the Google form, taking up a spot from someone else, just to tell me that I'm a piece of shit for giving away money to viewers. Like, how would that not hurt me? And it's all based off this belief that I'm doing it as some kind of fucking tax write-off or doing it just for, like, goodwill. When have I ever done anything like that? I'm doing this just because I enjoy being able to help other people. I've said that since day fucking one. I made a video back in, what, I think it was 2015, maybe even early, like 2014. Whenever I got into that car accident that, like, actually financially ruined me for a while, I said back then that I wanted to be in a place where I could do something like this, and now I finally fucking am. So I'm absolutely taking the opportunity to do so, and it just hurts to see that this is the kind of response that a lot of people have to it, where it's just as simple as, I'm giving money to random people just to try and help, and somehow that's still being misconstrued as evil and bad motivations behind it. So yeah, I wanted to defend myself against these accusations here, especially when they could have easily been disproven if anyone that even made these tweets or made these fucking Twitch stream, YouTube stream comments just took 2 seconds to Google if it's even a tax write-off in the first place, if it's even eligible to be a charity tax-deductible expense, because the answer is no. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit because, man, my Easter got off to a rough start by reading through some of those responses in that conversation. So that's really about it. So yeah. The desire for internet clout is an irresistible urge, an itch that must be scratched by any means necessary, including faking good deeds for the sake of the camera. I'm sure you've probably already seen what I'm about to talk about today since it went very viral. It's that couple that made dirty, stinky ramen in the back of their pickup truck and drove it around to feed the homeless. But it's clearly a fake staged video in order to make themselves look like saints, and they only drive it to one person who's a friend of theirs that's pretending to be homeless. It's pathetic. It's not meant as a joke, it's not meant to be satirical. This was clearly trying to capitalize off like a wholesome moment to get popularity. They were too lazy and couldn't even be bothered to do an actual good deed for someone in need, so instead they just faked the whole thing and wasted a ton of food in the process, like a ton of ramen. They started dumping in random ingredients like they were Professor Utonium trying to make the Powerpuff Girls, so they start fucking plopping in pounds of onion powder and all kinds of other shit. I wouldn't be surprised if they also started dumping in like raw plutonium. Like, it's just a foul concoction that they made, and they put it in the back of their pickup truck, and it is absolutely vile. A meth lab is cleaner than where they made this ramen. Did you see that lady on Twitter putting a bunch of warm ramen in the back of her pickup truck to feed the homeless? Oh my god, that shit was wacky, yeah. God, Jesus Christ. So the idea here was to be Meals on Wheels and feed the homeless with some ramen in their pickup truck. Such a good idea too, by the way. That's gonna make sure the ramen's nice and flavored with that beautiful fucking asphalt. She puts that on her feet to protect her.
Okay, let's go.
What the actual fuck is she doing? She's trying to score those internet wholesome points. She's trying to get like those what a great person kind of shit going. But it's obviously a terrible idea, one. And two, she doesn't even actually feed homeless people with it. She has one of her friends pretend to be homeless and eat out of it like a fucking pig at a trough. Like, it's just embarrassing. It's so fucking cringe. It's their friend. Look at him. He's putting his heart and soul into this performance. Need cash. Lounging on a pile of rocks. Because all homeless people choose the most uncomfortable places to lay down, obviously. If they're not laying on rocks, they're laying on broken glass. So, You know, they found a real homeless person in the wild here. Oh fuck, I didn't remember him actually eating it. He spit that shit out and violently puked, I bet. Just, you know, sometimes it's the little things, the good deeds from the good people, like this woman and her husband. To stage a feeding the homeless video for some TikTok points, you gotta love it. I was actually wrong. This wasn't done for TikTok clout. It was actually done for something even more meaningless. Facebook attention. Facebook updates and page likes. If you started downloading pictures of spit as NFTs right now, that would hold more value than Facebook likes. And that was the whole motivator here. This was posted by a page that's notorious for posting absolute garbage trash. And in their bio, they do state that some of the content they post is staged, this clearly being an example of that. I'm not going to say the page's name because this is clearly just a play for attention regardless, but it doesn't change anything about the situation here. Staging this brain-rotted garbage is at worst misleading and deceptive to the Facebook audience of 70-year-old geriatrics that believe it's real, and at best, just turbo cringe. This shit is just still fucking embarrassing to watch no matter how you spin it. So yeah, I just wanted to briefly talk about it and show you what all the hubbub is about with this food truck ramen delivery service, or lack thereof, I guess. And that's really about it. So yeah.
You just go.
Yeah, just give him one of those. What'd you say about my mom on Xbox Live? Bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang.
Just go.
Bang, 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 bang. What's that? I didn't like that tweet you posted.
Some arsehole stands in front of you and tries to rape you and your kids.
Whoa! Who's just gonna try and rape me and my kids on the sidewalk? Alright, I'll start throwing some mean meat out there in that case.
My wrist and he hits. Someone's there cussing off your wife, dragging her by the hair. You go. Slam
So, hey, let go of my wife's hair is what I'm saying. He doesn't let go of her hair, yeah, I'm coming in
Don't
wailing.
take much force to break his jaw, and you don't want to hurt someone. But he's trying to rape your kids. So you go,
Hey, yeah, stop trying to rape my
Someone's trying to
kids.
rape your kids.
Yeah, don't rape them.
And you don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
about
let go of my kids. Pull your pants back up. Yeah.
Or just simply, someone's trying to abuse you and grab you by your cock.
No, hey, let go of my cock. Yeah, give him one of these.
So you chop his
I'll grab him by the cock, see how he likes it. Give him one of these. Yeah, and then maybe some of this. Then maybe on myself too a little bit. Maybe.
Someone's trying to put your kids on drugs. Just simply go.
Put those drugs away.
Back fist him in the fucking.
Yeah, get those drugs away from my kids.
I'm saying that would be an option.
I didn't walk down this back alley to get drugs for them. Those drugs are mine.
Someone's trying
Get them away
to
from my
put your-
kids.
Trying to.
What's he trying to do to me?
When someone's coming at you expecting you to be the prostitute. For
Whoa,
them,
whoa!
and they're the pimp.
I'm not the
When
prostitute.
someone's trying to use you like a cheap condom.
No, I'm an expensive condom. Yeah, no. Pay money for me. More money than that. I'm no prostitute.
Someone's talking shit.
Yeah.
Check this out. My buddy John is an ex-bouncer, and now he's an active-duty special operations guy with over 600 street fights under his belt.
Maybe he's an
developed a
asshole.
brutal fighting system used by
600
special
street
forces that
fights?
you
Your
can
friend
learn in
John's
just
a
couple
dick.
days.
I don't want to be trained by a fucking asshole who gets into a street fight anytime he even goes to the fucking grocery store. Let's learn how to protect ourselves from some recent uploads. Urban combat self-defense, okay.
Hi guys, welcome to section 2. Where I'll
Oh,
be
is he
showing
fighting
you
her?
The Jekyll applications of the form, okay?
This
So
doesn't look
the
like
first
someone that would attack
part
me.
From here,
She
with
looks
right leg
nice.
Forward. Okay, other side. She lock pass out, punch. This
Any of you guys ever fought
Now,
old
if you
Asian
do it
women?
slightly
Do you know if
faster,
this
if she punches,
technique is effective?
like
Should
that,
we get
number one,
attacked?
Like that. If you punch, okay, you gotta pull.
This
usually
guy looks like more of a
Okay, so you
computer
go fast one.
programmer than an urban combat fighter.
that way.
But looks can be
Okay,
deceiving.
If I do it to you, speed, hup, boom, speed, hup, boom. Okay, but in the beginning, try and do it very slowly.
I fight
Okay,
my
back
grandmother's
foot,
friend
punch
every
hand, you
day.
go
It
one.
works. Okay.
Lock
We have a
side
real
punch, other
testimonial
side.
then.
Slowly, lock side.
He's like a Reddit warrior. Yeah. What did you say about Game of Thrones being bad? Oh god, not the nunchucks. Please, he didn't mean it. He was just shitposting. No, don't do it to him. I swear, this guy's just coming up with flashy moves. Nothing that works. I get the knife, throw the knife on the ground, jerk him off. Give him pleasure, give him pain. Bang, finish with the elbow. Seth Rogen coming at me with a knife, take the knife, jerk him off, stab him. Bang. I will say it's at least flashy. This guy could definitely be the protagonist in like a Western Ip Man. Like if they wanted a computer programmer Ip Man, this guy could play the lead. Like his speed is nuts. It's just I like it. I really unironic. This guy should really choreograph YouTube combat skits, maybe. Because he's got like the goofy speed down. Never try and get the number up. Oh, she didn't want to give me her number, huh? Time to Wing Chun! Teacher! I'm gonna feel like such a fucking idiot when it turns out that everything Emil's been teaching is like extremely effective and reinvents combat as we know it. Alright everybody, stand back. I've got my whining diaper on and I'm about to have an accident. I have a huge pet peeve I've talked about a lot on this channel, and that's parents that expect the internet to raise their kids for them, and then getting outraged when the internet doesn't raise them the way they want to, or if their kid finds something that they didn't approve of, even though they were completely absent in the child's life and just leaving them unsupervised to wander the World Wide Web cyberspace by themselves. There are a few things that make me as upset as when these parents all start having this temper tantrum like, why isn't YouTube doing more to protect our children from seeing videos with bad words in it? My kid just watched something where a guy said fuck while playing Roblox. This has gotta stop. And it's like the solution is super simple, just be a fucking parent. Don't just give them an iPad and walk away and consider your job as a parent done. It's always just extremely frustrating, but today I was reading some things that really grew my pet peeve to a broader scale. It started slapping new things together on top of it like a Megazord and Power Rangers coming together. So I think overall my huge issue here is just bad parents. So there's a lot of commotion and hubbub on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook, the usual suspects, about Guardians of the Galaxy 3 being way too violent, dark, and disturbing for the PG-13 rating, saying they pushed it too far. And it also apparently has the MCU's first fuck, which I didn't know. I mean, I knew it was in the movie. There's a scene where Chris Pratt, with his potty mouth, says some foul language, dropping the F-bomb. But I didn't know that was the first time in MCU history, so they all collectively lost their goddamn minds about it. Just all this steam coming out of their ears and making these super heated and emotional cringe TikToks about the situation, saying that it's evil and this should have been an R-rated film. It really pushed the PG-13 rating way too far. And they started issuing these PSAs and warning like, don't bring children to see Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It's too much for them. It's gonna scar them and traumatize them for life. It's almost like they were doing some kind of like air raid siren, like making sure all the neighborhood knew, like, hey, watch out, there's a dangerous person over there, we gotta avoid him at all costs. Like, they were going hog wild with it. And speaking of going hog wild, I recommend going hog wild with today's sponsor, Opera GX. Big thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring today's video. Opera GX is the best browser in the entire world. I've said that a million times now. I made the switch from Chrome to Opera a few years ago and I've never looked back. It is just far superior. It doesn't, hog all your resources. I have my own mod in Opera GX which changes the wallpaper, and it also comes with its own custom theme and sounds, so when you hover over things like the speed dial, it'll change the sound, which you can toggle on or off if you want to. But it also has opening and closing sounds associated with it. Baby! So yeah, it's just a wild and wacky fun thing. There's a huge selection of mods for Opera GX at the Opera GX store. Plus, you can also get all of my latest uploads in the GX Corner, which is available through the dedicated link. It's also a seamless transition from your current browser to Opera GX with the quick import feature. It'll take all of your settings, your browser history, cookies, all of that, and bring it right over to Opera without any headache, and as well as extensions, because Google Chrome extensions are compatible with Opera GX, and Opera GX has its own extension store as well. So it's all just a very easy thing to switch to, and is absolutely worth making the switch because Opera GX is the far superior browsing experience. If you're interested in getting started with the Opera GX for free, click the link in the description below. Now, I understand the MCU's Weenie Hut Jr. mode, and they all carry PG-13 ratings, but that's meant nothing. It's really been completely meaningless, more meaningless than the WinRAR free trial warning. So, I understand kids have been watching the MCU. In fact, most of those movies lean into that demographic, like trying to cater to actual children. The ones that are in the theater clutching their action figure in suspense, watching, you know, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Like, all of these films have been suitable for, like, actual 6-year-olds. I get that. But they do still have a PG-13 rating, meaning that they don't recommend children under the age of 13 see them because it might be inappropriate for them. So you can't exactly be upset and shaking your fist when one does roll around that is actually probably not suitable for kids under 13, like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Someone made a really great meme summing this up because it's embarrassing even talking about it this way because the movie's not that fucking intense. You're not going to go in there and leave with PTSD. I can't find the tweet, but it's the SpongeBob roller coaster meme here, and it was like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 PG-13 debate summed up. And it's obviously just poking fun at the people that are freaking out about the movie being super intense, even though in reality, it's not. Like, yes, it is darker, and it is like a more edgier MCU movie. Like, it does deal with heavy themes like animal abuse, which is, you know, definitely a first for the MCU. It's the first fuck in the first ASPCA commercial, really. And it also, of course, does have a bit of gore. There's a scene where a guy gets literally vaporized, and then they show, like, his corpse that's still charred, and, like, pieces of him are falling off. And the dude's face does get mauled, like, his whole face gets peeled off in an animal attack. So they do show that, like, his bloody, disfigured face. But, you know, aside from that, it's really, it's not something that I think anyone that's 13 and above is going to be, like, gasping and puking their brains out at. It didn't do anything that, like, pushed the PG-13 boundary. It played by all of the rules in there, it used its one fuck, and it used it pretty well, and it only had a couple of scenes where it's like, that's kind of dark. It wasn't anything that was, like, crazy over the top. All of this is just such worthless controversy over nothing. Just more things to get mad about for no fucking reason other than you're a bad parent who didn't take any level of responsibility here. It's the same energy as when a parent gets mad that they bought their kid an M-rated game and it's a little too bloody or it has some heavier themes that their child wasn't ready for. Your fault for buying them the M-rated game. Pay attention to the ratings because they are there for a reason. It's just super weird with modern parenting, and this is getting off on a bit of a tangent. I apologize for that, but it's related. You know, this isn't just coming out of fucking nowhere here. We're not fighting ghosts or anything. It's on topic. The parents will just sit their kids down in front of the iPad, just let them use the internet, and just have them be raised that way, or give them like some general entertainment franchises and have them raise their kid as well, like teach them the morals, and the parents are very hands-off, but then still feel like they have the right to complain when it wasn't done the exact way they wanted to, or if something went awry and the kid, you know, saw a video online that wasn't appropriate for them. It is, again, your fault. You did that. But now parents don't want to really raise their kids, so they're asking like the government to step in and like censor shit on the internet that they feel is dangerous to kids for if they see it. And it's like, well, why do you want the government to come do that for you? Just be a parent, make sure the kid doesn't see anything they're not supposed to. You're supposed to be there monitoring your fucking toddler. So why are you asking Big Daddy, Big Brother Eye in the Sky to come in, micromanage everything in the world in order to cater to your kid and your lack of parenting? Like, just be more present in their life in order to make sure that they're not just scrolling through TikTok mindlessly for 12 hours a day, rotting their fucking brain and ruining their attention span. It just makes me upset that the first thing that happens in a case, and not so much with Guardians of the Galaxy, this is more about like the general internet. The first thing that happens is the parents get upset, like, oh, my kid was looking for tutorials on YouTube and a bad actor popped up, so now I'm suing YouTube and demanding censorship on the platform because what if another child sees this? Well, it's like, why not just be there when your kid's on the internet, so that way when you recognize that there's a video that isn't appropriate, is in the algorithm, you can make sure they don't click on it. That's the whole point of being a parent with a toddler that you are raising. You're supposed to be raising them, not having the internet do it for you. And I just don't like how the first line of defense is always to start complaining to like a higher authority to change something in order to cater to your bad parenting and lack thereof parenting. It's always so fucking frustrating. And it also happens a lot with video games with like M ratings. Like, why is this game M? It should be adults only. I bought this for my 7-year-old and it's way too bloody. What the fuck is this? This should be only adults. War crimes? Oh my god. Adults only. I beg of you. Please. Do something about the madness. I don't know. I just needed to whine now too. Now I'm crying like one of their toddlers here who just saw a Finger Family video that went off the rails. It's just something that this Guardians of the Galaxy 3 debate has once again sparked a rage inside of me with, because I just wish parents would stop delegating that responsibility. The most important job of a parent is to raise a kid, and I wish they'd stop giving that to complete fucking strangers on the internet, or just the general expectation that everything and everyone in the world has to cater to them and the safety of their child when they don't feel like being there for them. So everything's got to be squeaky clean and sterilized with the bumpers and water wingies on it. So that way it can be completely safe in case a kid happens to see all the content. When really all of the issues get solved if the parent just does a good job parenting, or even attempts to be a parent and present. Like, I just hate that everything has the expectation that it has to be child friendly, when there is things that are just not made for kids. And in this case, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 13 is not made for actual children this time around, which I also think is a first in the MCU. This is definitely one that is more for, like, teenagers and above. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's it. So, yeah. You see Tim Sweeney dunking on the Fortnite cryptocurrency project that stole their copyright last week? No, but I did see Radio Shack came back from the dead to promote NFTs. They were getting wild on Twitter today. They were going in on Mudahar. This is a little dangerous to be going on here, but I need to show you this. It's pretty low effort stuff, so like this. If you want my comeback, you'll have to scrape it off your mom's teeth. Like, that one's just super old. That one's a little locked back in the, like, 2010s-ish, back Gears of War. But then they were going a little wacky on CoffeeZilla, though. Where's their vibrator tweet? We got some AA batteries for your vibrator, you pussy. Nice. Radio Shack is still alive? No, they don't have any brick and mortar anymore. I don't think, do they? Let me check. Wait, do they actually still have these locations on this map? There's no fucking way. No way. Can you still, like, shop at them, or are these just abandoned buildings, like old Blockbusters? Radio Shack is now owned by Ty Lopez, the guy who did the Lambo in my garage. Yeah, I know Ty Lopez's name. I didn't know he owned a Radio Shack. Did he bring it back? Because all of these were shut down. Radio Shack was dead, like Circuit City. Like, you literally couldn't shop at Radio Shack for the longest time. Did he reopen them? But yeah, they really went with the hello fellow kids, you like cryptos and Wendy's Twitter interactions, right? So they've been on a bit of a spree today. Also, their crypto is tanking. It's like with every shitpost the Radio Shack Twitter makes, it drops lower and lower. So the strategy's not exactly panning out super well at the moment, but hey, maybe a Radio Shack's just gearing up for a big rally. I think they're trying to interact with younger ages. I mean, this is very clearly them trying to, like, prove, hey, we're still, you know, viable. We know what's going on in the world. Here's NFTs, crypto, and dunking on Twitter. I'll even mention vibrators and pussy. They're hacked? Nope. They're not. This is very clearly corporate. Trying to be edgy. 100%. I work for Radio Shack. This is 100% corporate. What do they employ you as? Like, a dust manager at their locations? Like, sweeping as much dust out as possible? How do they employ people still? He keeps the lingering spirits at bay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else you'd fucking do at a Radio Shack, man. The only position at Radio Shack, I guess, would be a social media guy, which is already filled by the 14-year-old that's running this. So I don't know how they could have multiple employees. Or I guess whoever's running their crypto. People are so quick to say Twitter account's hacked when they try and do shit like this. This absolutely screams corporate. Absolutely oozes corporate. We can send you some merch. Very low-hanging, old-style dunks. These nuts, like, ugh. This is definitely not, like, hacked. Nothing corporate about this, 100%. This is their attempt to be like Wendy's, but for teenagers who can buy NFTs. It's their appeal to a bit of an older crowd, but not too old. Deal with it, glasses, give this away as corporate pandering. It's not fucking rocket science. If they were hacked, it would have absolutely devolved into racism by now. Like, even when they're being edgy, they're being just calculated enough edgy where it's not problematic. If they were hacked, it would be way over the line, which it's not. It's just not fucking rocket science. It takes only a minute. Like, their most savage one had pussy in it. But it's also just directed as a quote tweet to CoffeeZilla, who could take something like that, so it's not problematic. It's very clearly like, hey guys, we're young too, cryptos, NFTs. This one's for you, 18 to 24-year-olds. Like it's not like super mysterious here. You spend too much time on Twitter. What are you, my mom? I know. It's fucking embarrassing, but I can't help it. I don't know why it's a problem, though. Oh, it's not. Hey, I didn't say it was a problem. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't like cryptos or NFTs, so I don't really give a fuck. But yeah, just something to talk about. Just an interesting topic is all. I'm not saying that it's like a big deal. It's like, this is fucking terrible. How could a corporation do this? Just a little bit of cringe on Maine. Norm of the North Twitter account is still active, and it's almost sad to see. The fuck is Norm of the North? That sounds so familiar. I've never seen these movies. How the fuck do you make an animated feature at 18 million? Wait a minute, what?
That's my home.
So what the fuck is the sequel? Because they have 4 of these. Was this straight to DVD? Blu-ray? Straight to Blu-ray? I can't believe how many they release of this. Why didn't we get one in 2021 or 2022? What the fuck? We need more Norm. Oh, this is their lowest rated one yet, the Family Vacation. What's going on? What happened? They're finally... Man, this guy has reviewed every Norm of the North. I'm gonna have to check this movie out.
From a writer of Toy Story, comes Norm.
This was very honest. I've never seen this. From a writer of Toy Story. Usually when they're trying to like hype up the credentials of the cast, they always overstate it, like, from the visionary behind Venom and The Dark Knight. But this one's just like, yeah, this guy, you know, he like spell checked Toy Story. Yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely watch Norm of the North. And you said their Twitter is still active? The official Twitter account for Norm of the North. My Norm is north as fuck right now. What the fuck? What? Is this the same guy who runs Radio Shack's Twitter? Man, I can't wait for Norm of the North 5. This is some heat. About to melt the polar ice caps in the next one, god damn. Norm of the North was an inside job. This is pretty amazing. So it looks like whoever they hired to do the social media for Norm of the North still has the password and just fucks around on here. Norm feet stank. Norm of the North metaverse movie where Norm and the wolf from Alpha and Omega. Norm loves bowling. Norm likes his ice thick. How long has he had access to this account? They just really don't care about my boy Norm. The corporate, I mean, he's the only one making sales though. I'm gonna watch Norm of the North now. Norm wants to fight the wolf from Alpha and Omega. Y'all are not ready. That's Norm all dripped out. Norm just met Santa. Please say congrats, Norm. I can literally tweet anything I want. Just in a silly, goofy mood. Might make a 5th movie. Norm is vaccinated. He's had this for over a year. I am so impressed. So it looks like this guy took over, I guess, December of 2020? Yep, looks like December of 2020, and then he started kind of shit posting in January of 2021. Or it's the same guy. Yeah, I mean, it could be the same guy, and he had to do, like, corporate tweets to promote it in the beginning, but then they just forgot about the movie and just let him run wild. I like to think he's still on payroll. I mean, I hope so. He's out here keeping Norm of the North alive. In an era of climate change, the only one keeping Norm of the North cool is the ice in the veins of whoever's managing this social media account. That Norm is North. Radio Shack deleted all their tweets. I heard they really regretted it. They tried it. They went for it. And it looks like they were pretty embarrassed. Should have kept the tweets. Yeah, I mean, they should have stood by it. Good afternoon. I bet the majority of you watching this can't even tell that I have a tummy ache right now, but I'm being very brave about it. I'm going to push through, and I want this to serve as a lesson to all of you that you can't tell what someone is going through just by taking a glance at them. Don't judge a book by its cover. There's 2 topics that I'd like to discuss today, so let's dive right into the first one, which has become a very big discussion across the internet, which is in regards to piracy. I like to think I've been very vocal about my stance on piracy. I don't think there's any questions on where my loyalties lie when it comes to this subject, but I'll repeat them again, screaming from the mountaintop. I, with my hand on a stack of Bibles, subscribe to the belief that Gabe In preached. Piracy is a service problem. Not only that, but the quest to defeat the boogeyman known as piracy also leads more people to it. So introducing harsh DRM that like tanks performance or makes a game function worse will inevitably lead more people to go to the pirated version because it is a better version of it because it runs better without the DRM that you've introduced to try and fight it. So you're creating more of a piracy problem by trying to solve it. I also just truly believe that if you just focus on making a good product or service, you should never put even an iota of thought into how to beat piracy. Yes, people are going to pirate it. They're going to find ways of circumventing shit no matter what it is. But there will be far more people that legitimately purchase it to support that good product or service and that effort that you made to not ruin it with like DRM or fighting against piracy and making things an inconvenient headache. To put your titties where my mouth is, I am well aware that our comic book series Godslap has tons of re-uploads of our entire comic series accessible for free right now. And you know what we're doing to stop it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. In fact, we've made it easier by offering a digital version of our comics. For those that don't know, I have a comic book series called Godslap and another one called Plague Seeker. We offer a digital version of it. That makes it extremely easy to just take that digital version and re-upload it for free across the internet. And zoinks, Scoob, would you believe it, it actually was extremely helpful in growing the comic series. There are so many people out there that wanted to check it out but didn't want to pay $5 for a digital version, didn't want to buy a physical copy. They just wanted to see if it was any good, because who knows, it might have sucked shit through a crazy straw. It might not have been worth the money, so they wanted to check it out and it was uploaded for free. So there were a lot of people that read it for free and then eventually bought a physical copy once they got invested into the world. I have so many emails like that from people, and that's great. I'm happy that people are checking it out. Even the ones that check it out and don't like it, hey, at least you gave it a try, right? There is really nothing that we lost by having the comic series uploaded for free out everywhere. It's only been helpful. Now, that's not going to be the case for everything, and I totally recognize that. But I really believe all of these efforts made by, like, shutting down emulators, which is what we're about to talk about in detail when it comes to Nintendo, and all of these other, like, DRM efforts and all kinds of anti-piracy measures do nothing but make more people want to pirate it, because you're now ruining the official means of getting these products and making it far more easy, convenient, and complete, actually owning the product through piracy. So you're making it a more appealing option for them. So you're creating more problems than you're solving in the first place. I don't want to just regurgitate the same things I said in my last video about this topic. I'm not trying to just Ouroboros my own ass and eat the shit out of it with the same talking points over and over. Basically, last time I was touching on this subject, it was about streaming services being such a massive, expensive headache nowadays where you don't actually own anything anymore and they're constantly censoring episodes or taking things off of their platforms. You have to go on this giant fucking scavenger hunt like you're hunting down the Dragon Balls in order to find like the shows or the movies you want. So when you pirate them, it's much easier, it's much quicker, it's a lot less expensive obviously, and it's just a more convenient service these days, which is why piracy's been blowing up again. Not that I'm advocating for it, of course. You can't come after me for that, Viacom. What I want to focus on with this one isn't so much that, but more so the debate that's breaking out now about emulators, because the global anti-fun police known as Nintendo, the international authority of kicking sand in the face of anyone that's enjoying their products, has decided to launch an attack on a very popular emulator that I'm pretty confident a lot of you are familiar with, called Yuzu. And Nintendo threw the kitchen sink at them. They laid the Super Mario smackdown upon them. Hulkmania went wild, and it was a little concerning for the future of other emulators. RIP to Yuzu. I'm not going to bother going through the particulars of the case. I'll just give you the bare bones gist of it. Nintendo hit them for giving people the tools and information regarding piracy, giving people the ability to pirate Nintendo property. And basically it all just tied into Yuzu and piracy going hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly. Now, let's not get caught in a delusional genjutsu here. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Everyone knows this when it comes to emulators. Anyone that uses an emulator knows that you can get games for free that you don't actually own officially. Not everyone's going to be the person that's dumping the BIOS and all the information out there from their legitimately purchased copy or anything. You can eventually just download it yourself for free and play it through these emulators. But I don't think that means you need to shut everything down in regards to emulators, because they are an invaluable tool when it comes to the preservation of games that otherwise would be lost to time. I am a huge proponent of emulators, and I have been since early high school. In fact, a lot of my early videos are all made through emulators. Mudahar recently made a video covering this topic, and I agree with his take in that when you own something, a piece of hardware, you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want with it. As long as it's not affecting other people and like making other people's experience of it negative, it shouldn't matter. So if you legally purchase Tears of the Kingdom for your Switch, but you actually want it to go on your Steam Deck because it's a better console, then you should be able to just, go through the process of getting it to the Steam Deck through the emulators and all the other things that I'm not going to go into detail about because I don't know how Nintendo is going to be responding to all of these things. But there are ways to do it, and I think you should be allowed to. It's not really an ethical dilemma since you own the product legally, you have paid for it. Why not be able to have the freedom and flexibility to take it from its native platform, the Switch, and put it on like the Steam Deck or put it on your computer where you can enjoy it far more. And the games are far better there as well. Like they just are. The Switch fucking sucks as a console. It's archaic. So while Nintendo is correct that there is a lot of piracy when it comes to this emulator sphere, it doesn't mean that it needs to be viewed as like this ultimate villain that needs to be defeated, because it offers a lot of good too. Because without emulators, there are so many games that would just be lost to time, especially from Sony, which is something Mudahar also points out. There are so many games that I have played that only exist through being able to be played on emulators that I can't get in an official capacity anymore. So if you're not selling the product anymore and there's no way to have access to it, what is the harm in playing it through an emulator? It's completely victimless crime here. Again, I fully understand that it's not exclusive to just people playing abandonware that you don't get anymore. These old treasures that are, fucking buried under sand and you can only play them through an emulator. I know a lot of people pirate modern games. Like Tears of the Kingdom people were playing early because it ended up leaking and you were able to play it through the emulator like a week or two before it officially came out. I get that that's a problem. I 100% understand that. But by taking down and putting your crosshair on emulators themselves, I really just think it's misguided. There are bad actors that are going to use these type of tools for nefarious purposes, of course, and that is an ethical problem. But For me, if I'm playing something through an emulator, I own the real copy of it. At least in every case that isn't a game that no longer fucking exists, which is quite a few of the old PlayStation 2 games that I used to make videos on back in the day. But if I'm playing a more modern game through an emulator, I own that copy in the real world. And since I own that copy, I really feel like I should be able to do whatever the fuck I want with that, because it is mine. Now, I know we live in that age where you don't own anything and you have to be happy about it, but I think that is garbage. I think it's a load of trash, a bunch of hooey. It is yours. You should be able to do whatever the fuck you want as long as it's not hurting other people or ruining someone else's experience. If you're like cheating in a video game, hacking in a multiplayer lobby, things like that, then it just shouldn't be an issue to take what you have purchased and make it work on an emulator and play it where you want to play it. I just don't see why that would ever be a contentious point. I get that Yuzu made a mistake in offering these tutorials on how to circumvent Nintendo's protective measures and things like that. And I know Nintendo's still very sore about Tears of the Kingdom leaking and being downloaded like 1 million times and played through Yuzu before release. I get that. That to me is more of a Nintendo problem. That Yuzu doesn't really have anything to do with that. That game leaked before it came out. It was then put onto Yuzu, which didn't immediately play it. It had to be patched from community members to make it work through Yuzu. That is not something you can really blame Yuzu for, in my opinion. But point is, I do understand that when it comes to emulators, there is the piracy concern. But I really don't think that the necessary measure here is to shut the emulator down. They are tools, very, very important tools when it comes to video game preservation. And let's just be honest, important tools when it comes to enjoying Switch games in a better capacity than the Switch itself offers. This console sucks. I am so tired of it. Every game plays like it's 2006 again, whereas you pop these puppies in an emulator and you can really enjoy it in a nice, smooth, crisp experience. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this emulator discussion here because a lot of people are fearful that Nintendo might be emboldened here and start going after other Switch emulators, and that could lead to this big cascade where all kinds of emulators are now getting targeted from all kinds of different places. I don't know if I necessarily think that's going to happen. I think this might be an isolated incident because Yuzu was so big and they did like directly give people the instructions on how they could pirate games and circumvent these measures. So this might just be like a one and done thing, hopefully. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the whole piracy debate as a whole and kind of how I feel about all of it. That's really about it. So yeah. Shitting on children for liking Fortnite. Fuck yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Fuck kids. Liking a video game? That's so embarrassing. So get this shit, fam. I was on my Twitter going through my timeline looking for some lit savagery like I usually do. And you know me, I only follow people that post titties and rock and roll related content. I'd never follow any type of Fortnite shit. But then for some reason I get like a Fortnite dance video of some kids in a school dancing to Fortnite. But then I read the title where it said, like, let's bring back bullying to stop this. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So now we got some cool people here. You read the comments like, these kids need to kill themselves. Parents have failed because kids like Fortnite. I'll go ahead and show you the tweet here. I mean, it's so fucking great now that Fortnite has brought us together where we can insult children for liking it, because we're so much better than these kids. Like these fucking snot-nosed, mucus-braced-faced, fucking prepubescent turbo virgins liking Fortnite. It's so gross. Man, I hate it. You know, honestly, I'll just drop the whole sarcasm. This shit makes me infuriated. I've shit on Fortnite trends in the past, like the actual evil trends that I would consider super insidious and wrong, like the YouTube clickbait things, 1 comment equals 10 V-bucks, or making my girlfriend lactate 5 milliliters of breast milk for every kill I get in Fortnite, gone sexual. Yeah, I'll shit on those trends for sure. I'll shit on those certain Fortnite trends, but I've never once insulted children for liking the game and celebrating the game and culture and shit. I think that's super cool. Growing up, I would have loved if something like Fortnite existed where everyone in that age group kind of bands together like, you're cool if you play Fortnite. What a fucking paradigm shift. Growing up, if you played video games, you had to keep that shit hidden. You couldn't tell anyone that you liked video games. You couldn't talk about that shit in school when I was growing up. Now all of a sudden you're cool. And a lot of people come together. In that video I just showed, I think that's super fucking cool. You have an entire cafeteria coming together to watch this, laughing, having a good time. What is wrong with that? Twitter in general is just this festering pustule of hostility. It's just fucking sickening. Now, I understand it's a joke. I don't think this guy's actually lobbying behind that flag of we need bullying back to prevent the Fortnite uprising or anything. Obviously, he's kidding. But all the comments seem to echo the same thing. These kids need to get beat up. If I saw these kids after school after this, I'd beat the shit out of them. Like, those actually seem like threats. They read like threats. And even if this is just a joke, which I do think the title of it, all that shit is just a joke, it still hurts. Like, if I was in these kids' positions, they clearly use the internet, and I saw this, I'd be crushed. I'd be inconsolable. I would never want to play Fortnite. I'd never want to be videoed again. Because you got the entire internet making fun of you just because you were having fun with your friend in a cafeteria. And now all of a sudden the internet's turned on you and it's a fucking crime. And it's not just this video. There's so much shit where all of these brave internet content creators and Twitter warriors come together and insult Fortnite kids. Like there was that other viral video where a bunch of little elementary school kids did Fortnite dances and then everyone was insulting those kids in Fortnite again. It's dumb. I don't get it. Why is it bad? And then there's also those assholes on Halloween that weren't giving candy to any kids wearing Fortnite costumes. Like that's just ridiculous. It's just this internet insecurity mob's incessant desire to not feel so fucking worthless. And then they take it out on these kids and shit. And there's no doubt in my mind these kids do see these things. They're not fucking idiots. They probably log on Twitter. These are viral videos and insults that are flung around. So it just don't get it. And it's not like these are cool people that are insulting this shit. Like, for instance, the guy that posted the please bring back bullying thing with the Fortnite dances. You go on his profile on Twitter, he's just a shit-posting meme lord. And his profile picture indicates he'd be one of the first people to get bullied in high school. And it's not just Twitter, it's not just this guy. Like I said, there was those fucking heroes out there that refused to give candy to Fortnite costume trick-or-treaters. Those goddamn beacons of justice really fighting for the good of the people and society. It's this mentality that if kids are doing it, it's inherently bad and it shows that society's fucked. Like, this generation's so bad, they're coming together and doing Fortnite dances. Oh, bah humbug. I never had shit like that. Growing up, the closest we had was Pokemon, and you were considered a nerd. But you would at least have your nerdy-ass friends to talk about Pokemon with. Now, Fortnite isn't just for this group of nerds. It's for everyone. All kids are playing Fortnite and doing these Fortnite dances that everyone considers embarrassing. And I think it's embarrassing if you're above the age of like 17 doing Fortnite dances at the gym or some shit. But I don't think it's embarrassing for kids to be having Fortnite dance competitions or Fortnite dancing around or anything like that. I think that's fucking great. I really just don't understand why it became considered cool or alpha to insult children for liking a game and having fun celebrating the game out there, dancing and enjoying that shit. I don't see the problem with that. I think Fortnite dance classes are a bit in a gray area because that's just trying to exploit the popularity of Fortnite, so I don't support that kind of shit. I'll insult the fuck out of Fortnite dance classes. But to insult the children that are just having fun with it, that's just so goddamn low that I just can't comprehend it. I don't get it. But to all the heroes on YouTube that are saying, we gotta stop these Fortnite kids, you keep fighting that good fight. And I just don't agree with that shit at all. See ya. Whoa there, Buster. You just wandered across a smile checkpoint. Let me see those pearly whites. Alright, you pass. Now go ahead and take both fingers, put them up like this, and give them a little wag and give yourself a little body wiggle, because we're celebrating today. Sam Bankman-Fried, one of the largest fraudsters in history responsible for FTX and its collapse, is now been found guilty on all charges and could face a maximum of 115 years in jail. Ooh, God, that just felt buttery coming out of my lips right there. The way those words danced across my tongue, letting you know that SBF has been found guilty on all charges, facing serious time. Oh, wow, that felt good. That's a pretty long time to spend in the slammer. There's very few people that could survive that. Maybe Gandalf at the top of that list. And unless Sam Bankman-Fried is a vampire, which I can't rule out with 100% confidence because he looks like someone that sleeps in a coffin and drinks blood, then he has no shot here. So I guess we'll see in 115 years, mark your calendars. Now, even though SBF was slapped by all of the charges brought against him, I do think they missed out on a very important one that wasn't even brought here in front of the court. I think he should have also been facing criminal punishment for being so incomprehensibly dogshit at League of Legends. If you're unfamiliar with the Sam Bankman-Fried lore, this turbo weenie would go on and on about how much he loves League of Legends, yet he was still hard-stuck bronze 50. This fucking goober was somehow like bronze 3-locked forever. I don't know what he mained. Maybe AP Tryndamere on Butt Patrol or something, like he's not even laning with a character, because I feel like if you put in enough hours like he claimed to, you'd accidentally at least hit silver. It's almost more impressive that he stayed bronze and stayed that bad, refusing to get better. So they should really look at criminal charges for just how trash he is at gaming. But yeah, I'm getting a little carried away here. We're celebrating, damn it. This is a great day. This is truly fantastic. There was a part of me that was worried he was somehow going to squeak his way out of here without a serious, harsh sentence. And he hasn't been sentenced yet, but the fact that he is now being found guilty on all that he's charged with is a great, great thing. And special shout out to the courtroom sketch artist here who was pouring their heart and soul into this. You can feel the passion with each stroke on the canvas here. Look at this beautiful sketch of Sam Bankman-Fried looking like something out of Tolkien's work right now. Like just some kind of evil presence that's being foiled in real time. Like, I feel like I'm there with him. It's a beautiful creation here, up there with some of Picasso's masterworks. I love these. Especially this one. You know, pictures truly are worth 1,000 words, and all 1,000 words I'm feeling from this one are, wow. This is something special here. Sam Bankman-Fried, I guess his head got hit with a shrink ray or something. But I mean, overall, this could be the next American Gothic here. It is a fantastic piece. And also, we're going to get a little off topic here, but there's more we have to celebrate today. Another group of scammers was also just blasted. And I'm talking about SafeMoon founders. If you follow CoffeeZilla's work, and I'm sure a lot of you do, you'll know about SafeMoon. He's made a ton of videos covering the topic. I highly recommend you check them out if you're at all interested in big scams and wild fucking stories. And today, there's been huge news on that, but I want you to get it from CoffeeZilla. So check out his most recent upload about that. And, you know, I just wanted to lump that in here because it's another one of those crypto-focused, yucky things where finally punishment is being dealt to some of the most evil people in that entire space. And maybe this trend will continue because there's still a couple big fish out there. You know, maybe CryptoZoo, Logan Paul, anyone? I mean, who knows? This is a great day, honestly, for some justice, you know, starting to take shape and really pop off here. So SBF found guilty on all charges. Huge news with SafeMoon. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. Give you something happy to celebrate a little bit this afternoon. That's about it. So yeah. I just learned about a job that I would have never imagined would actually exist, let alone be successful. A baby name consultant. That is a real profession right now.
Some expecting parents aren't coming up with names on their own. They're hiring baby name consultants. Can you believe such a thing exists?
Some parents turning, unbelievable, to naming consultants on platforms like TikTok to help them find the perfect fit.
The baby naming industry has sort of blown up.
Colleen Slagan owns Naming Baby. She charges between $250 to $400 for her consultations, and business is booming.
Charging $250 to $400 doubloons for some names. I spit that shit out for free every time I create a character in Dark Souls. I love how she refers to it as a baby naming industry. They found a way to monetize just giving name suggestions. You can do that for free. Like, ask ChatGPT if you really get desperate, or you can just Google names right now and get an infinite list of it without paying a penny. To pay hundreds of dollars for a list of names is absolute insanity to me. She justifies it by saying she spends hours on personalizing and customizing the suggestions, so for $250 you get 10 suggestions, for $400 you get 30. And from what I've seen, her suggestions are just normal names. It's not like she's creating fucking brand new vocab words here. She's not speaking in the language of the gods or anything, bestowing upon your newborn this powerful title or anything. It's just like standard names like Olivia or Liam or Phil. Like, it's nothing crazy. Like, yes, she'll like personalize it based on some of the things like the couple will say to her, like, hey, my wife really likes flowers and I really love boar's head pickles. And then she'll come back and be like, okay, well, name your daughter Daffodil or Sprout or Sunflower. And you can name your son Dill. Like, it's nothing super interesting or unique, and it's certainly not worth hundreds of dollars.
Why is a name so important? You know, it's the first choice you're making as a parent. It's the first sort of piece of identity you're giving to your child. And a lot of parents, like, they're looking for something really specific.
Obviously, a name is extremely important, but I feel like I'm boofing crazy pills here, because why would you be paying hundreds of dollars for someone else to name your child for you, basically? They are basically the ones that are just giving you this list that you choose from, and you probably feel obligated at that point, since you spent money on it, to just settle on one of those names. That doesn't seem like a recipe for success.
Holly and Eric Stein own a postpartum meal delivery service and are expecting baby number 3 at the end of August.
I don't think I even knew something like this existed.
They've been struggling to find a name that will sound good with their 2 kids, Rory and Blair. They hired Colleen and now have a top few to choose from, but are waiting until baby's arrival to make a final decision.
It was obvious that she had put a lot of thought into this, and they all went with the vibe that we were looking for.
At the end of the day, it's their money. They can throw it in the toilet however they want. I'm not going to break into their house and slap the dollar bills out of their hand before giving it to a baby naming consultant or anything. But to me, it just seems like a real symptom of how everything needs to be monetized, and that's becoming more and more normalized. How even something as simple as just name suggestions is all of a sudden a massive business at this point. That's just so fucking dystopian to me. I'll go ahead and break the magician's code here and reveal some great names for free. If there's any expecting couples out there, please feel free to use these. There's no royalties on them, copyright free, no trademarks. A name that I've been really defaulting to recently is Jerichomo. It's a name that's derived from a very strong source, my buddy Aaron. He came up with this name and I think it just sounds really fucking cool, so I think Jerichomo is a really great choice. Another one that I've always really appreciated is Avagantimos. It was a name that I came up with on the spot a long time ago when playing a horror game called Penumbra, which could also serve as a cool name. Penumbra sounds awesome. It's like a cool Pokemon, you know? But yeah, Avagantimos makes it sound like some kind of ancient gladiator. There's also Geth, which I think is a really cool sounding name from Mass Effect. If you've played Mass Effect, that name will have even more meaning for you. Mass Effect 3's base ending was absolutely atrocious, but it doesn't mean that the name Geth is sullied in any way. Plus, the DLC did help with the Mass Effect 3 ending anyway, so Geth could be a strong option. There's also Glarb, which is a frog in Magic the Gathering from their new set Bloomburrow, and Glarb sounds great. There's Bilgist, which is something I made up right now, and I'm recognizing that that's probably not a strong choice. Your kid will absolutely be subjected to bullying and being made fun of for that, so don't go with Bilgist. But all the other options I listed, those are cool, and I didn't charge you a penny for those. She provided examples on her website about how a consultation kind of goes, so after you fork over a few $100, this is kind of what you can expect. You'll send her a message kind of going over the situation, all of the lore. So in the example here, they explain that they're not loving any of the names they've brainstormed for baby number 2, the sequel. They have a daughter named Lola. There's a couple names they're considering, like Killian, Otto, Merrick, etc. And for the most part, they're not nickname people. They kind of want more uncommon names. That's basically the gist of it. Colleen then takes in all this information and starts computing. She gives her opinion on the names they're considering, as well as giving them her impression of their style. So she says their style feels very vintage, timeless, and ahead of the trends, and that she gets a guy in the beanie at the coffee shop, old soul kind of vibe. Which honestly almost sounds like an insult. Those sound like fighting words. I'm surprised an argument wouldn't break out in this example here. Like, what do you mean? That's not my vibe at all. But then she gives her perspective on the names that were vetoed. And all in all, it basically just kind of plays out like taking an old BuzzFeed quiz. Like, it doesn't really have anything super useful here. It's just her kind of just saying about the names and the impression she gets. Then she gives her name suggestions, and I'll go over a couple of them. So she said that the common denominator between all of their names is that they are uncommon. So she tried to keep that in mind and then came up with Jennings. I'll go ahead and take the liberty of vetoing that one on behalf of the couple. That feels like it's the polar fucking opposite of the vibe they were looking for. Jennings sounds like a butler. That sounds like someone Bruce Wayne would have hired for a minute if Alfred went on vacation. She then goes on to try and explain why she came up with that name and says that it feels related to Jameson but a little more unique and a little less preppy. Completely disagree. That sounds like one of the preppiest names you can have. She then says that she thinks Lola and Jennings both have the cool factor and make a great sibling set. Whatever that mumbo jumbo means. Her next suggestion was Briggs or Brig. She then says that it's another surname that reminds her of Banks, but a little less Mighty Duck. It feels like a fresh take on Brooks, which is getting quite popular. I knew a kid growing up named Brig, Hard G, which I actually like better, though more likely to be mispronounced. Surnames that end in an S have a slightly preppy feel, but Briggs also brings a lot of Western feel to add a little grunge to that prep. I like how she says that names that end in an S have a slightly preppy feel, and her previous suggestion was a name that ended in S and said that it felt less preppy. So that feels like a bit of a contradiction there, but I'm not a professional baby namer. Maybe I'm just not familiar with the subtleties and the nuance of baby naming consultancy. The example ends with her giving a couple other names like Hugo and Remy and closing by saying, I hope that this baby name consultation has given you some food for thought and either helps you feel more sure of one of the names on your list or has given you some new ideas to consider. Happy naming. I'm guessing this is where the communication ends? Like this is where they cease contact? I'm not really sure how this works, but I was looking up if you get a refund if you don't like any of the names that she suggests. Or if you can request additional names for no extra charge if you just didn't like any of the first batch. And I can't find anything on that. I don't know if I'm just missing it on her website. It's kind of set up in a weird way. But just imagine paying $250 for 10 names and you don't like any of them. What a huge, colossal waste of cash right there. I feel like you should be able to give your input on it and see if like maybe you two can come together and iron out like the perfect name. Because hoo-wee, if you're paying $400, I would expect that you and Colleen here would really work hard to pinpoint that motherfucking name. That's a lot of money to get suggestions that maybe you don't even like. So I can't find any information on what happens if you don't like the names, but I still think that this job is such a weird one. This is something people do for free and should be free. You're just asking for naming suggestions. Why are you going to be charging hundreds of dollars for that? But anyway, just had to talk about this a bit. That's it. See ya. Overall, I'm a pretty calm guy. It takes a lot to make me mad or angrily cry into an anime waifu body pillow's tits. But that being said, there are certain things on the internet in relation to YouTubers, streamers, and shit like that that just really bruise my ballsack. The first thing is something that really just became a big thing on the internet that I've hated for a long time, but now people are being more exposed to as they get closer to the shit pile that is internet egotistical assholes. It came to light with the whole makeup community on YouTube's drama, Tati, Jeffrey, James, all that garbage. Every single one of them uses what I call the dark place defense. It's like a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh card move. Every single one of their videos is, I was in a dark place, that's why this, that, and that. As if that somehow excuses being some type of stupid fucking idiot. Some goddamn dumb Cro-Magnon troglodyte who has this petty internet drama about fucking bullshit scam vitamins for your hair to make your dick bigger as well and whatever garbage they're peddling. I hate the dark place defense. But what I hate even more about that is that the fans, the goddamn micro-dicked brain-dead turbo-virgin idiots, are okay with it. These fans are barely more functional than zombies, but instead of shouting for brains, they're shouting their favorite dumbass YouTuber's name. I don't know how fans are okay with their asshole they support saying, I was in a dark place and that's why I did all these awful things. For example, Jeffree Star accused James Charles of being a sexual predator, saying he needs to be thrown in jail, he molests people, he's gonna rob you of your cum and your dreams, he's a bad person. He says all these things. James Charles proves he is not those things. So then people go to Jeffree Star to prove it, because he said he can prove that James Charles is awful. And then when it comes time for him to prove it, he releases this 13-minute video where he drones on about how he's in a dark place and that he's going to be the mature man and not prove anything he said. So that's an actual crime, Jeffrey, you fucking idiot. But what's awful about that is the community cheered him on. All of his fans are like, wow, Jeffree Star is amazing. He decided to be the bigger man and falsely accuse James of all these things and then not back it up and then have the audacity to play the victim. Wow, Jeffree, you're a hero, man. That's like going to court and then just saying, you know what, I'm going to be the bigger man. I'm not going to prove this man's guilty. Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, wow, great work. Excellent, Jeffree. Fantastic. You fucking accuse this man of crimes and then you have the gall, you have the chutzpah to go on camera playing the victim and pretend that you're some mature vanguard of justice by not stooping down to the drama level. You made these claims saying you can back them up, and then you just bail out of it, meaning you lied. You accused an innocent person of all these awful things, and then you played the victim. You're a fucking douchebag, and your community sucks. Jeffree Star fans suck. Jeffree Star sucks. Now, that's the all-encompassing thing I hate about the internet there. That's just a specific example. Dark Place Defense and dumb fucking fans that excuse it and promote it as if they're a good person because they were in a dark place and everything they did gets a pass. It's awful and I hate that. But kind of piggybacking off of that, in terms of YouTube fans, I absolutely hate when a community around a YouTuber goes out of their way to spread shit to other YouTube channels and other places on the internet. And some of you guys do that watch my shit. You know, I'll make a video about someone just casually goofing on them. You'll go to that person's video and relentlessly insult them. Or you'll just be total assholes to them and be like, oh, Critical sent me here. Critical told me to come over here and fight a battle for him. So I'm here to fight for Army Critical. Yeah, let's go, nipple neutrons, yeehaw. I hate that. I hate that. I think most people hate that. No one wants to see that kind of shit on a video they're watching. They want to just see things related to what they're watching. They don't want unrelated Leafy is here hissing and garbage like that. It's intrusive, annoying, and just downright dumb. Twitch streams have the worst of it though. When I do a just chatting stream at twitch.tv/moistcritical, the thing I hate most is when some goddamn warrior for their favorite YouTuber comes in, they're like, Charlie, watch Badlands Chugs, Joey's World Tour, watch them now, and then they'll spam it 50 times. You know what that makes me do? Makes me not want to watch anything from those people ever, because you're a shitty fan and a shitty marketer or promoter for them. I don't know what you think you're going to accomplish with that. It just turns everyone off of the person that you're trying to promote or trying to get out there. It's just bad behavior, childish behavior. Now don't get me wrong, I'm sure it's appreciated by everyone you're trying to promote, and I know if you're doing it for me, I appreciate that you like my shit that much, that you want to share it with everyone, that's great, but that's not the way to go about it. That makes me afraid of you. That makes me feel like you're some type of raving lunatic who's gonna peruse the trash can looking for a half-eaten sandwich that I've thrown in there so that way you can grab my DNA from it and clone me or something in a basement, like a laboratory. That just makes me afraid. It's weird. It's obsessive behavior and it's not healthy. And it's just shit internet behavior, to be honest with you. Another big one that I really don't get is people that go on like a Twitter rant or a Reddit subreddit post rant where it's like, I used to love this person, but now I just can't stand the sight of him, and the thought of that person makes me want to vomit and cry. For example, on my subreddit, the critical one, every now and then there'll be a post like, I used to love Charlie before he showed his face and when he hated himself. That's when Charlie was the best to me. But now, this Charlie, I fucking hate him and his hair's awful. I hate that guy. And they'll go on this like 3 paragraphs explaining why they hate me. What's the point of that? You're just a douchebag. You're a fucking sad little asshole. It's fine if you don't like the shit I make now. That's totally okay. But what's the point in going out of your way to make this long post that you've clearly put a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and micro-dickery into? What is the point? Are you expecting like a round of applause for being so brave? I don't get it. This happens with every community. Ethan's community gets this all the time. Every internet person gets this shit, and it's the dumbest thing because I don't see the point. Just quietly stop. Why do you have to bring everyone else down or try and insult the person and make this big hoopla and song and dance about it? It's just so stupid. It's pathetic. And the last big one I can think of right now is opinions. Anytime some Z-list internet pseudo-celebrity posts an opinion, it's going to divide their community, no matter how trivial it is, the subject. If an opinion differs from a fan, it's going to be a fucking disaster and they're losing a fan every time. This never really occurred to me until I started doing the moist meter, but I'll give something a score that is lower than what someone else would have given it, and that person sends me this long, droning email about how they hate me now and lost all their respect for me because I didn't like their favorite toy as much as they did. And now I see that on every single post on Twitter of anyone who makes internet shit at all. That's why all of them are so goddamn fake, because they know they can't share an actual opinion or else they're gonna get a lot of angry backlash. And it's so stupid because that's the entire culture right now, not just internet. If someone has a different opinion than you on anything, you can't be friends with that person, you can't associate with them. Everyone wants these fucking boring ass echo chambers of the same regurgitated shit that they believe, and they don't want to take in any other perspectives. It's awful. It's silly. And with the moist meter, now I see it more than ever, because everyone thinks something is better or worse than you do. Not everyone's going to share the same perspective on a certain thing, except for John Wick 3. I think everyone agrees that's probably the best action movie ever made. But other than that, everyone's going to differ an opinion. So every time that happens, they're like fucking trained to hate you now because you have a different opinion on a movie than they do. Like, that's the thing that stops them from being a friend of yours now. It's fucking stupid, and I hate that. So yeah, that'll kind of wrap it up. These were just the ones that I thought of off the top of my head for this, because I really wanted to get my pet peeves out there and the things I really don't like about internet shit revolving like internet personality people and all that, and internet communities, and these were the ones that came to my head right away. That's it. So yeah. Is it this? From 2 years ago? Sub 1K views? Now that sounds like a good video. Good lord! It's Heisenberg!
You'll never shut me up! You killed there's the killers right there! You killed Jesus! You killed Jesus! I'd love to! Hell, you won!
Oh, I'm leaving this a like.
Shame on you! God's gonna kill you!
This is what happens when Reddit meetups try and happen.
God's gonna kill you! You killed how many of
It's like every Twitter argument ever personified.
How many have you paid for?
No, he's casting voodoo magic!
It don't work!
Block it with a holy force field.
The man who has risen up for the children! You'll never shut me up!
Can someone get this man's doctor out here? He's gonna blow a fucking valve.
Shame on you! It's the word of God.
Slap him with it.
Oh yeah, you don't want the word of God because it says you're wicked. You're wrong.
I don't know whose side to take. They're both making good arguments.
Shut up! You need to be worried about God. Go get the...
This Jesus guy is interrupting his mission for his 5th hamburger of his lunch.
Why don't you shut me up? I am. You can't. You never will. You and your sin. I'm not afraid of you.
Kiss!
You need to be
Fucking make out in holy and unholy matrimony.
You need to fear God. I love children. I love women. I love my brothers and sisters. I love it all.
Oh God.
You love your penis. You love
no!
that you do.
He doesn't love his penis. You'd have to be gay to love your penis.
That's why you're upset about this. No. You don't want the...
No! I hate my penis. Tell him to shut up again.
Yeah, thank you. Scream. Wicked.
Twist his fucking nipples off for saying that kind of shit.
Wicked. Kiss my ass. Wicked.
Make him kiss it.
I wouldn't say that.
There we go. Much better.
Probably some
Now we're getting in the groove again.
Look at those demons.
He is annihilating him right now.
Never gonna happen.
Fucking hero.
Never.
Oh!
The Bible says the fear of God.
You shook the hornet's nest and you're not gonna like what comes out.
The Bible's in your ass. The Bible called you
No! Show him where the Bible really is.
You killed Dr.
Even that car in the background just stopped to watch this.
You piece of shit. You ugly piece of shit.
Take him over your knee and spank him. Put the discipline of Jesus right in his ass cheeks.
Shame on you. Yo,
He lost. He's walking away. He lost.
Compensation.
How many times is he gonna walk away and come back? He's like on a runway fashion shoot.
Tell men of God. I know who you are.
This guy looks like Fred Durst, the Jesus guy, not the old guy. The old guy looks like he was just late to bet on some horse races.
You killed Dr. Shut up.
Yeah, take that! Ah! He's not only killing this Jesus man, he is killing Jesus himself with those shut-ups. Call him gay again.
You ISIS supporter.
Don't take that! Turn around for the 5th time! Turn around!
American old fool.
Turn around! No, he lost!
Murderer.
I hope he comes around in like a fucking golf cart and sweeps their leg. Yeah, that'll teach you. Now that is how arguing should be. Nice and civilized. Good points on both sides. Oh, let's check out Carton Arc.
Because I'm a documentary filmmaker, I'll tell you right now, I don't give
Oh, those documentaries are definitely anti-vax related and on Facebook.
Because you don't call me a slime ball either, so I'm a nice guy. Oh man, what's going on here?
He sounds like a
I don't
minion.
know why you're being so angry when I'm clearly in the right and you're clearly in the wrong.
Get away from this nice guy. Oh god, she's got a taser.
Left your cart in the middle of the spot.
She is outsmarting him right now. This is like a League of Legends counter pick. iPhone versus iPhone.
It's for your social media business.
No, actually, what this
You're right.
is
His whole show is about cart narking.
let their cart blame why that's.
Who are we?
We are the cart narcs. We and other agents of the cart narcs.
Really? Do you get paid by the
My agents.
Now let me explain why that's a bad
It's an unholy cult. You wouldn't understand. We're very powerful, more than you could ever imagine. Ooh, she's gonna wait there all day with the cart out of place. What are you gonna do about it? You gonna kiss her?
These carts roll in and ding people's cars. We see it all the time.
The employee's like, guys, can I just put the cart back for the love of God? Fucking cart narc, fart shark coming in hot, baby.
No, ma'am, what I
have to put my cart there.
I know it's common decency, but you lack.
You
Woo!
common decency.
Ma'am,
What are you gonna do with the video?
That's a handicap spot, ma'am. A person could die.
If someone dies as a result of that cart, they planned it.
It's to help let people get out of their wheelchairs and stuff. Ma'am.
That cart isn't necessarily like a landmine. It's not like she IED'd it. Let's see what other kind of justice we're dispensing out here. The cart narcs are assaulted. Ooh. By a woman that's so horny after seeing them, she just can't help but throw her pussy at them. Oh god, she's about to do it. Right in front of an on-duty cart narc, she's got a death wish.
A handicap, actually. So just let you know. But I get what you're saying.
Is it lazy bonesitis? But like the heart, the head.
I'm sorry, wait.
Is it is your disability
Lazy boneitis. Those are fighting
I
words.
saw you walk around the store.
You can cart narc, go yourself.
Ooh.
Lazy bonesitis? How about assholeitis?
Well, I'm a.
Whoa. There's no such thing as assholeitis. Let's not be ridiculous here. Lazy boneitis is at least a real thing. This guy sounds like if Invader Zim fucking snorted helium. His voice is wild.
Is it lazy bonesitis?
What might be?
You're a dick.
Delicious McDonald's and delicious.
Ooh.
I love Bang energy drinks, but you're throwing it at me.
I don't give a
Look,
shit.
man,
Oh.
Don't ever tell somebody with a disability it's lazy bonesitis.
You gotta take a throwing arm for someone with a disability.
That was a little far. Let's be honest. You don't just toss around lazy boneitis. It's like a slur. What is your karma score on Reddit?
You're walking around.
Oh, not yet. He's not. Listen to his voice. Come on. He's gonna be inside your body real soon.
You could add it's lazy bonesitis.
Right.
That's my disability.
That's my suspicion. Yes.
Is it your suspicion?
Yeah.
Okay, I have 6 bulging discs in my neck. Look. I have 3 bulging discs in my back.
Bulging dicks.
I believe. But how did you?
That's a little lazy boneritis in that case, ma'am. That's a whole different issue.
I have to take pain medication to even walk around.
Let's go back to the part where you said he's not inside your body. Let's change that. He's a cart narc. You can't resist.
So how? I'm sure you have an autistic daughter.
I'm not trying to.
Oh, what?
Wants her mother to be.
Daughter?
I have many actually. I'm a sperm donor.
Very good. I'm a very good.
Oh my god. Good lord. Oh man.
Look, Sebastian.
God, you'd hate to find out you had this man's sperm. I'd feel ripped off and scammed like it was RuneScape if I got this dude's sperm as a donor.
Me, I'm backing away.
No, come here, because I'm going to teach you.
Uh-oh, pepper spray.
I'm going to teach you.
Card knocks out.
This dude definitely deserves to get pepper sprayed. Or rather, someone throws a shopping cart at him and takes him out.
The cart narcs, yes, that's what your cart narcs.
Oh, I can see him in the reflection. Oh, I'm getting a good look at him. This looks like the Nostalgia Critic with hair. And the exact same attitude. Pretty much. Maybe this really is like old Nostalgia Critic.
Take it over there.
The dude literally looks like a cart narc. If I had just seen him like walking around a grocery store, I'd be like, dude, this guy probably fucking polices shopping carts in the Walmart parking lot.
Oh, no, don't take that cart. Don't take that cart. That's his cart. He's holding on to it. Yeah, that's his cart. Don't take that cart. There's plenty of carts right
Was that a time traveler? What the fuck happened there?
To do with it. Yes, I'm the cart narc.
Kiss my ass.
No, why? You sir.
Jesus, this is like everyone's grandpa coming in right now.
Why? People.
Your job, you're a douchebag.
I'm a cart narc.
Douchebag.
Cart narcs are by definition not.
He's not wrong. He's really on the money with that one.
You can roll up your ass too.
No, sir. It's very unlikely to do that.
Sebastian, you're just getting annihilated. Walk away.
But sir, the cart.
You're not beating this guy. This guy survived Vietnam 5 times.
Ow, you hit me with the cart. You didn't take your cart back where it belongs.
Oh wait, that's him? Wow, that's courageous. He's actually showing himself in this one. I had to fucking CSI it to find out what he looked like in the reflection of a mirror.